Hey there. Welcome to Music Meets Sports, where sports legends meet custom soundtracks. Founded by music producer Ronald Tyke Oliver, Music Meets Sports was created to bridge generations, educate fans, and celebrate the greatness of both current and former athletes. We craft original songs about heroes in basketball, football, baseball, boxing, and beyond, highlighting their struggles and victories. Across all musical genres, we reintroduce fans to their favorite athletes in a way they've never heard before. From Babe Ruth to Reggie White, from rising WNBA stars to timeless NFL great stream, or download our music now on Apple Music, Amazon, and Spotify. Visit musicmeetsports.org to explore the catalog, hear new releases, and join the movement that's preserving sports history, one song at a time.
The world is changed. I feel it in the water. I feel it in the earth. I smell it in the air. Much that once was is lost. For none now live who remember it.
Every fall, the war begins. 4 teams, no love, just wins. From Philly Bulls to Dallas Stars, the passion runs deep and leaves its scars. New York pride in that Meadowland blue. DC dreams trying to break through. Rivalries on, but the fire stays fresh. Blood, sweat, tis the Nfc East Clash. It's the Nfc East Clash. Every yard fall like somebody got hurt. Trash talk loud, predictions bold, but no team falls. When the season unfolds, Eagles fly, Lions grind, Cowboys shine. Commanders fine, every fan base ready to feast. It's war every year in the Nfc East. Coaches change, but the hate remain. December games in icy rain. From Dak to Hurst to Sack is birth. The headlines write themselves by the first. You think you're safe, not in the zone. Your record don't matter, this is homegrown. They circle these games from summer to snow. It's bragging rights and the show is soul. It's the Nfc East Clash legends made. Broken dreams, your glory paid. 4th and inches, red zone heat. Miracles made on so many beats. Philly's mean, New York tough. Dallas loud, DC rough. No love, lost cannon drive. Just pride and peace. Welcome back to the Nfc East. Thanksgiving lights, Monday night hype. A fan base ready to fight all night. They don't shake hands, they draw the line. This ain't just football, federal time. Nfc East Clash, no easy road. Every rivalry about to explode. Years of grudges, decades deep. Even the off-season can't make them sleep. It's forever fire in the Nfc East.
Everything is elevated. The energy, the speed, the intensity. Today, we must all match that intensity. It's time!
Well. I can't believe it. We are already on episode 11 of the Nfc East Clash. Good evening, everybody.
What a coincidence. Week 11, we're going to be going to the Raiders game. So 11
is the number. 11.
And Parsons.
Michael Parsons on the sideline.
11. Oh my gosh, it's all coming together.
One's up, baby. Anyway,
Illuminati.
good evening, everybody. I hope everybody's ready. We'll let the crowd build. Me and Primetime, my partner, we're gonna talk a little bit before we bring in our first guest. But Primetime Phil, what is up, my man? How are you doing tonight? How you feeling?
I'm getting into the energy. I'm just, when you're going one way and you're hearing this bull crap cowboy news at times, and they keep repeating the exact same news over and over again, just in different patterns and different ways. And Adam Scheffner all of a sudden has an opinion
Shifty.
that is the same shit as it was a month ago. So, as much of a cowboy fan can be, this is where I'm at.
Yeah, and I'm with you, man. Listen, I'm gonna die a Cowboy fan. This is my cross to bear. But listen, make no mistake. Come September 4th, which is coming around real quick. We are literally 2 weeks from tomorrow, opening day in the belly of the beast, banner night, South Philadelphia. Wow, you believe it? It's here already, man. I cannot believe it.
Yeah, it's by the time you know it, it's going to be mid-season, bye week, stuff like that. It goes very quickly. So as much as we're going to bitch and moan about our Cowboys or our teams or whatever in general, if they have struggles, it's something you have to kind of cherish at the same time.
Yeah.
I know the NFL is adding more games, not adding bigger rosters, adding bigger salaries, but not adding bigger rosters. But yeah, I mean, more opportunities to watch football, but again, not with the bigger roster.
Indeed, indeed. Retro Game Grub and Cowboys member for 16 months. Mailhead
Aye.
Zoom crew. What's up, brother? Me and Scorpion burning down the weeds. Yeah, we know. Jesse's coming in here. Jesse's high
Good
and
group.
mighty. He'll
Good
be
group.
in about 9:15. He is high and mighty. Very high and mighty. Mark Hutchins, shout out to the first super chat.
Feeling good about his team. Feeling good about his team,
Yeah,
man. JD,
exactly.
unfortunately, I am not going to watch that series. And I know it doesn't really affect Jones much, but
No.
if
they
I
already
can
got their
expect
money.
it, yeah, they already got their money. But at the same
It's a
time,
great series.
people aren't going to go out and do stuff. You can't. I mean, I'm not taking him
fantastic.
seriously. And, but, eventually I will watch it when they get their shit together, if they ever get their shit together. So it might be another 30 years before I watch it.
Fantastic. Some unseen footage. Again, I disagree with Phil. I think it's a must watch. Again, they already got a flat fee. It's over. They got their
I
money.
understand that, but at the same time, you can also rate the fact that okay, we have a whatever heartbreak movie Hallmark type of bullshit that you have over here, and then you have Jerry Jones that
No,
didn't
and
get
you're not
didn't get to
alone.
beat it because the views weren't there.
You're
You
not
can still
alone,
rank
Phil.
as a shitty person. So
There's a lot
yeah.
of people that are with you. I know Kelly K9 on Twitter. He hates that. He don't want no part of it. But
No.
all as I will tell you is, this is what I will tell everybody. There is unseen footage, and there's some stuff in there that gives you more of a glimpse on what's going on. You really are able, especially the later
Oh, I see
episodes.
little clips. I see little clips that people put
Jerry
on
Jones,
Twitter.
they actually are in the box after the Green Bay game. He's crying hysterically. Okay, now again, we got to connect the dots here, right? We have to somehow connect the dots. Why you're so upset, but you fail to change. Now, I would argue that they have changed this offseason. Point being, they went out and they've got George Pickens, arguably a number one receiver. I don't care what anybody. He is a stud receiver. They went out and risked draft capital. So again, it just at the end, I don't want to give too much away, but at the end, they interview Stephen Jones. Stephen Jones was crying, Phil. Yes, he was crying, basically saying, well, I'm just, he don't want to answer that things are going to change when Jerry's not around. He basically said, we are just loving the fact that Dad is still here.
Well, the thing about it
yeah.
is, in general, with these guys, it's just like they believe their own bullshit. Like
Randy, I
they,
am, brother. I am.
It's kind of one of those things. They've said the lie so much, it's become truth in their head, and somehow, not, okay, well, we got what we got, and that's what we're gonna. They have that Jason Garrett mentality, but in the front office, well, we got our personnel. We're just gonna go through and hopefully people will step up, but. You're expecting everybody to step up. I mean, I can understand your depth being your young guys that I need to get them to figure it out and not throwing them right into the deep end and going, all right, man, you should be swimming Olympic laps here. But, that's just the cowboy way, right?
It is indeed. Let me grab the chat real quick, blow through this as fast as I possibly can. We got Randy McIntyre, Jesse Montanez, JD 1965. What's up, brother? Clemente Espinoza. What's up, Clemente? Obi John's in the house. Good song, but way too long, bro. Cut it down. Nah, man. That's how we're going to keep it because that's my man, Ron Oliver. Thank you for the, I appreciate your input, but nah, man, we are keeping it. It gives me and Phil a chance to do what we got to do. Randy McIntyre, Chris May, Hallie Pierce, Arturo Gomez, Logan Motorsports. What's going on? Who else? We got Coyote
Marcus.
in the house. Dirty Sanchez. I got to say, I love listening to Michael Irvin. Oh, yeah. Michael Irvin's the best. Again, flawed, but he's the best. Joe DeMasi, what's up, brother? How are you? What's going on? Trying to get to the end. Mark Hutchton, how are you, my man? Isaac Ramirez. We got West Virginia Country Boy. Jimbo, my neighbor. Let's see here. Who else we got? Momo is in the house. I'm sure we'll see Momo later. How are you, Momo? What's going on, man? Who else is in? Jesse Montanez. He's out of the weeds and waiting. There we go. Marcus Blackman. What's up, Marcus? How are you, man? We got Marcus Dirty Sanchez, I think we said. Super chat. Did I see a super chat?
I got two super chats going on.
Leo, what's up, Leo? Okay.
Got two super chats. $4.99 from Randy McIntyre says, "Are you ready for some
Yeah, I got
football?"
that
Hey,
one.
folks.
Dirty
And then you got Dirty
Sanchez.
Sanchez with the $5 super chat says, "What if Jerry Jones really is trying, but the knowledge for him to do things has surpassed him, and he really can't see the big pictures anymore?" I mean,
Then shame on the people around him, right, Phil?
yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where the emperor doesn't, you don't want to get in their way, or you
Well,
you
that's
don't want to
exactly
well, I
what's
still want
going
to
on.
be in the will. I want to be in the will, and so I don't want to piss them off.
That's exactly what's going on. That's exactly what it is.
Oh yeah, Dad, you should put fruit punch in the lemonade stands. Like I don't
What's
know,
up,
just
D'Angelo?
random
How
crap.
are you,
It's
brother?
just
Mark Hutchton, thank you, sir. Another super chat. Thanks, brother. Vinny Hagen's in the house. What's up, Vinny? D'Angelo's here. Sorry, I'm drinking some Diet Coke and it's not sitting well. It's not sitting well with me. But yes, CZ, what's going on? What is going on? Momo,
So I mean,
oh crap.
when you look at the roster put together, if somehow or when, whichever way you want to kind of put that, with Parsons in the sense of him signing, once we get this, and you got some guys like Tyler Smith and Bland that's in that mix. I think once you get past that, if you can get these guys signed up, I think that's kind of going to be it for the big group. If anybody else is kind of coming down to the point where like now there's a contract negotiation that needs to happen, those guys are probably going to be the ones that are left out. Let's be real. I'm not sure who we could be thinking of at that point. I mean, whether it's Pickens, I think maybe there's some money there, but I mean, by this point, you're going to have to start relying on a lot of these younger guys and trading back in these drafts and actually kind of adding some draft capital because once you add these other guys in there, it's going to get even tighter. And I don't know, man. Just again, I can't concept in my mind, and I won't. How they haven't even gone to the table. Maybe they have a number in their head and all that, but I don't know. It's just it doesn't make any sense not to talk numbers, not to just at least have conversations to smooth things over. You don't want to be pissing off your main guy. You assuming that maybe once the money comes, he's going to be okay.
What's up, Rolo? Good evening,
I just
brother.
think you're harshening the relationship that you guys have, and so I don't know. I don't see any positives about any of this. You're not going to become a big top dog out of nowhere with this. You're going to end up having to cave to sign him. So, because if it's not going to be you signing him, it's going to be someone else signing him. And so, whether you trade him off or he holds out, whatever the scenario is that he ends up going somewhere else, he will get paid. So it's just, there's nothing really to say. I know the Cowboys have a lot of leverage in there, but I think Carson's has a lot as well,
Yes. Let me get to the chat. Susanna, how are you? Stu Vision. What's up, Stu? How are you? Welcome to the show, my man. Elena Walker is in here. I did get Rolo super chat. Thank you, Rolo. Who else we have? Scotty Too Hottie. How is this a clash
Ooh, Scotty
when
Too
it's
Hottie, man.
combined
Heck yeah.
60 years of losing? Scotty, you in the past, brother. You in the past.
I like the name. Nice.
I know. I like Scotty Too Hottie, though. Jesse Montanez, hit the like button. You guys rock. Thank you, Jesse. Appreciate you. I tell Chris 9:15, and he's in at 9 o'clock. You got to wait, son. You got to wait, Chris. He's got an itchy
He's eager,
trigger
man.
finger.
He's eager.
He's got an itchy trigger finger, Chris. So thank you, Jesse. You're in the hopper. Let's see here.
I mean, when you would need to get through that year in order to get to those next years on those contracts, or so I would expect him to play, even if it is a delay in it. At some point, I do expect it. I mean, it's just whether we're going to be contention or whether it's going to be really early in the season. So.
Yes, indeed. Indeed, we'll let him get settled, and then I will introduce the man. I will say this. Welcome, Jay. But first and foremost, I will say you are, outside of Mark Holmes, my guy, probably the hardest working Dallas Cowboys or just content creator in general. CFO Sports Zone, Jay Tuck. Welcome to the show, man. What's going on?
Hey, what's going on, man? Hey, man, I deeply appreciate that, especially being the same breath as Mark Holmes.
Come on, man. You know that.
Mark is someone who set the foundation for what we see today in this Cowboys content realm. So salute to Mark, and just to be mentioned in the same sentence, it's a lot. But yeah, it's a lot of work that goes into it. But I enjoy it sometimes. But sometimes the fan base needs us, and it's always good to sit back and just talk football and have a good time.
JD, 1965, first game of the season, not coming fast enough. Yes, Jay, we met for the first time briefly. You were a busy man. Me, Prime Time, and DMV, Mark Holmes went out to the draft in Kansas City, right, Mark?
I think it was in Kansas City when we met.
Yeah, it was
first.
Kansas City. I think that's Jay's hometown, I believe. And we met, and dude, you literally, again, I put you in the same breath as Mark, because every time I turn around, you're doing something. People say that to me about me, but it's on a lot smaller scale. Jay, really appreciate you joining the show. Not sure if you know what we do here on Wednesday night. This is a relatively new show, but it's got a pretty quick, following. What we do is we bring on a guest, we talk to them, and then we bring in a combatant from the Eagles, the Giants, and the Commanders. So you're representing our Cowboys. So again, just remember, we know what kind of a mess we are, and we want to talk to you like one-on-one. Prime Time, ask Jay some questions regarding the shit show that is the Cowboys these days. I'm sorry. I'll get to the super chats. Well,
I mean, where do you go? I mean, you can almost pick up any position, whether you want to talk about quarterback, whether you want to talk about coachings, whether you talk about running backs, defensive backs. I think defensive tackles. But when a glaring, obviously thing, and we were just talking about it before you came on, is obviously Parsons and the negotiations that's happening, or non-negotiations that's happening between him and Jerry. Are you kind of where we are in that sense, where you think that negotiation is really going to start when everybody kind of shuts up and dies down? Or what kind of on Jerry's world is if you could try to get into his head as a psychologist, what's causing him to kind of push the brakes on this and hold his ground?
Yeah, I think the number one thing that's getting in the way is ego on both sides. For some odd reason, Jerry Jones felt like they had a deal back in March whenever they spoke, and Micah agreed to something, but Micah never really agreed. And, Jerry didn't want Micah to get the agent involved, which would be idiotic for Micah Parsons to do a multi-million-dollar deal, probably the biggest non-quarterback deal in football, without his agent, who was one of the best agents in all of football right now. So, I think that's where it's really getting the line separated. But I try to explain this to Cowboys Nation. One, we are 2 weeks away from playing against the Philadelphia Eagles. Okay. The thing that scares me the most about this is it's different from CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott because they haven't started negotiations. That's the tricky part. So whatever deal that Jerry may have thought he had with Micah Parsons, now it's going to be the FU tax. It's going to be taxed on top of that because you've been playing these games publicly and there's been this back and forth. And then also we are uncharted territories, Cowboys Nation, because Micah Parsons is the first player to actually shoot back publicly at the front office. Zeke just kind of went to Cabo, did his little drills in the sand, and didn't say much, right? Dak showed up at camp, but didn't say much. CD was in Florida last year, didn't say much. But when Micah Parsons sends a soliloquy, as you will, that he no longer wants to be in Dallas, he kind of spilled out everything's been going to negotiations. Now I feel like we're going to get into a situation where Jerry and his ego is going to squeeze Micah out and say, okay, I know this man loves football. He loves his team. He wants to beat the Philadelphia Eagles. Is he really going to lose $1.4 million and sit out week one? I don't think he is. So I think that Jerry might sit tight, and it's going to come down to whoever is going to bend the knee. And I'm not sure how this is going to go. But this is a different situation that we've seen in the past for Cowboys versus Jerry Jones.
I
Yeah,
would
definitely
agree.
agree.
Let me grab the super chat real quick. West Virginia country boy Jay Tuck has a great channel. Yes, he does. Very, very informative. Again, we all have our opinions, but his seem to come more from a knowledge base rather than just a loudmouth, I think I know everything base. I think you're very level-headed.
Yeah.
I'm normally that way. Sometimes, most of the time I am, but I'm rooted as a diehard Cowboy fan. So my, quick thing, I think you nailed it. I think that, and I don't know all the particulars why T. Higgins let go David Mulligetta, I think in December, and then went and got a deal done. Again, Mike, and I've been taking some flack, Jay, even from Mark. We've gone back and forth a little bit. I believe that he doesn't have all the leverage, meaning Micah. He does have leverage, and the main leverage he has, Troy Aikman came out and said, the main leverage you have is they can't win without you. And that's a fact. That defense, I was on your channel earlier, I left a couple comments, that if Mike is not there, we're probably maybe a 6-win team, maybe 7 if we're lucky. That's just the type of impact that Micah has. But what is the value when you are in a 5th year? People are acting like, well, they paid Dak. They made Dak run through all the hoops. Dak played under the final year of his deal. Dak was franchised. Dak had the stones to bet on himself. And not only did he get $16 million a year, he got a no-trade clause. So Mike is not quite there. I think he got bad agent advice. He should not be in training camp. He should be taking the $50,000 a day. I think the noise would be that much more. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know, Jay, am I off beat? I mean, what's your take on my take? Do you think
No, I think you're spot on, right? I think the tricky part with the Micah actually holding out was the 50,000, but it's 50,000, but it's still $50,000.
It is.
But I think the tricky part where Micah got caught up is he made a promise to Brian Schottenheimer. And so he spoke to Schottenheimer and said,
That's
you know
a
what?
good point. I didn't know-
And
yeah.
that's why he went to the voluntary and the OTAs and some of that stuff. And he promised Shotty that he was going to be there and Matt Eberflus was going to be there. But they never, and I kept asking because everyone was like, see, Tuck, I told you he's going to be like, he's going to be there, but is he going to be participating? That was the part that everyone missed out. And Micah cannot take the risk. And Dak Prescott even said it, right? Dak can do that and still go to camp in OTAs because he has a red jersey. For someone who plays defense,
Yeah, exactly.
if you even sneeze on the quarterback, you're out of practice. So Dak can stay upright. You really can't touch him. But think about Micah, who's going to be, battling versus, would have been Tyler Guyton at the time or Terrence Steele or getting chop blocked or whatever. You're putting yourself at risk. And, I just feel like when it comes to Micah, I don't want to say it's bad advice on the agent. Because the agent's going to do what's the best interest of his client. Because we got to deal with Dave Mujetta next year because he's George Pickens' agent as well.
Right.
Let's go back around. But I think that the job is to get the player what he's.
I would love to know because it's an easy, just like CD's last year. It's an easy negotiation, right? You would think it's easy. It's
See,
an
I think
easy
the thing
negotiation.
was last year with CD, they were waiting on the Jefferson deal. So I'm not sure what deal that
What are they waiting on?
Yeah, because here's my frustration with this whole situation. You even go back to the Zach Martin holdout. They were saying, well, we got to pay Micah. For Dak Prescott, it was, well, we got to pay Micah. And CD was, well, okay, it's now time to pay Micah because according to Micah Parsons, he wanted the deal done last year, but he understood, okay, you got to pay my guy CD, you got to pay Dak. So I'll kind of step back, right? And so here we are in his contract year. And you think about all the first round picks that were in that draft, they've already been extended, except Micah Parsons, who was one of the most dominant players in the NFL. But like you were saying, they franchise tagged Dak Prescott twice, right? So they're crazy enough to say, you know what, go out there and miss games. Because the question I ask, if I'm Jerry Jones and I'm putting on my Jerry Jones evil GM owner hat, let's say I'm a 6-win, 7-win team without Micah Parsons. Bro, I'm probably a 10-win team, 9-win team with them. So what is the net premium value that I'm going to get on my return of investment? Because I'm not feeling like this team's going to win a Super Bowl anytime soon, right? So I can, as long as Dak is healthy, I can win 7 games, 8 games. You have Mikey out there, maybe 9 or 10. Is it going to be this massive difference? But we'll have to sit back and wait and see, but the clock is ticking.
Little red car. I had Philly 500 on last week, brother. We are, you guys won it all, man. You guys won everybody every week. You guys are greedy. Now, just kidding. But it's funny you brought up, Tuck, about the red jersey. My partner here, he was, back in the day, he was a quarterback for the Oregon Ducks. Now, Phil, please, I want your opinion because we saw Joe Milton, right? We see Joe Milton doing half decent. He's having a decent camp. Everybody wants to crap all over Joe Milton, but he does have the red shirt on. He doesn't have to worry about a blindside hit. He doesn't have to worry about anything for the most, unless you're Sam Williams, right? And Sam Williams loses control. Phil, just explain to everybody what it's like. Now, Phil, first, did you have a shirt when you were... I would imagine you weren't allowed to be hit. But what did they do at Oregon?
I think that was amazing. When I was first time I ever had it was actually in high school. They gave it to me because I went to a 5A school and 3A school. They don't give you that red jersey. You just because you got to play defense as well too. So you were all over the place. You had to hit people. But when you get the red jersey, it's just it's like this red carpet kind of feeling, just like, nobody hits you. Occasionally people stumble into you and everybody's apologetic. But when it comes to Milton, man, nothing surprising. I mean, we pointed out the inaccuracies, some of the stuff that about his
he's
reading.
Looked good in practice, but he has a red jersey. Nobody's coming after him. You get into a game,
and the lights aren't on. I mean, let's be real. I mean, think about Trey Lance and the pressure's not on him over there, and he's shining, because he doesn't have as many eyes. He doesn't have that criticism as well, too, where the spotlight is just a little bit brighter here in Dallas with that star on your helmet. And I think with that, that's where you see whether they fold or they actually shine. And some of these guys are unfortunately folding a little bit. But Milton, I think he's one of those things. Well, I think we said that Will Grier was the backup going into this thing. So putting your project quarterback in there, you already know what you have with Will.
Yeah.
That's why I like him being in there, to give him some reps, to see if you can get better. You don't know when eventually it clicks. Remember, I was constantly on CeeDee Lamb about no, you don't come back to the ball, and you kind of like focus
out. Stuff a quarterback would really get annoyed at because it looks bad.
But think about that Minnesota game where he all of a sudden boom, and then he was the number one receiver after that. He was CeeDee Lamb number one. And sometimes that's how it is. Sometimes a game is what makes it click, and that's what they're kind of hoping.
Phil, you know what's annoying, and this goes out to Jay Tuck. I actually stole this from you, brother. Now that you're here, I'll tell you right to your face. Last week, Tuck, you made a statement. I need to be better on social media. I really do. I got people that they follow me, and I don't put enough out there. But you said something that was so true. And when you sit back and look at it, it makes you wonder what they're doing. You said using the preseason, focusing on one player's development. That statement could not be more true. I mean, my God, why are they doing that, Tuck? Why are they sacrificing
everybody else
for Joe Milton?
Good. Yeah, this is something that we did last year as well, because we do it trade. I remember the first game we threw like 60 pass attempts. I'm like, so we should have went into the season understanding, is Zeke our running back one, or was it Rico, or was it Deuce? But we didn't know that, right? So we were kind of having open tryouts early in the season. I feel like we're in that same situation right now where I get Joe Milton. He's a young quarterback. He's talented as all get out. He just doesn't play from from up here, above the eyebrows. But, I feel like there's other players that really need to be evaluated properly, especially with the running backs. I feel like Javonte Williams should be out there. Miles Sanders, Deuce, Phil Moffitt, Jaden Blue, who will play on Friday. But also, with Joe Milton struggling with his development, we can't really evaluate our wide receivers properly. And this is a tough conversation because from what I'm hearing right now at practice, that Trayshawn Holden had another phenomenal day, but is he just a practice player or can he play when the lights comes on? Ryan Flournoy, you can't evaluate him. Jalen Brooks, Jalen Tolbert. So if you have a quarterback like a Will Grier that can just get the ball to the wide
Not
receiver.
that we love Will Grier, but I know what you're saying. Yeah.
Where I feel the Cowboys, and Phil, I think you mentioned this, where we are messing up is your quarterback too should be your insurance policy, a guy who's played a lot of NFL games, who's seen it all, right, but just doesn't have immense talent, but he can carry you as a bridge. And then your quarterback 3, that should be your project high ceiling guy that, can kind of struggle a little bit, but you can sit back and groom for a few years. But the Cowboys are doing the opposite way. So, I feel like just with Joe Milton out there slinging the ball 90 miles per hour everywhere, all over the field, you really can evaluate some of these young offensive talent that we have.
Some of your offensive linemen, especially your receivers, not to mention 3 and out, you're putting a lot of pressure on the defense. It's all
well, that's
above.
what I was pointing out.
For a defensive guy, it's great because you get a lot of
you get all the snaps.
Right. No pressure on you in that sense. Brian, I think you pointed out as well. The other couple of days right after that game was the fact that you couldn't evaluate these wide receivers, these tight ends, things like that. I was like, I mean that is the truth. You don't have any rhythm. You have nothing. You can't the last time as a lineman you can't even say, well, the last time they did that stunt or whatever, I didn't slide over. Okay, I'll keep an eye on that. And you can't learn from it. It's just it is frustrating. So I'm totally with you guys. I think focusing on one guy definitely is negative, especially since you're not giving any of your starters those. Again, I understand the injury thing and why you're not doing it, but at the same time, we always use the beginning of the season to warm up.
Didn't we live this last year, guys? Didn't we live through the where they gave every rep to Trey Lance, and then lo and behold, Dak gets hurt, and then they go, "Okay, Cooper Rush,
and he's like skipping balls off the ground, and he's like, I don't know how to throw football. I haven't done it in a while."
Me and Phil and Mark were at the Eagle game in Dallas, and it was an absolute disaster. Obviously, we had a lot of backups.
The defense was keeping it in the game for the first half.
Up until that fumble down near the goal line, they
weren't doing anything.
It was even, but very, very frustrating as a Cowboy fan because you know how I feel. And before I introduce our new combatants and we get the actual show started,
these Rudy Poos,
I feel like, Jay, that it was a different offseason. I argue with basically the trolls, but they're good trolls in here. They're not all bad. I mean, they're Eagle fans, they're Commander fans, they're Giant fans. I welcome them all, but I felt like we had a ball rolling downhill. We were gaining some momentum coming into the season. Enter Jerry Jones, Micah Parsons, and it's just like, man, we don't need this emotionally, even if it's just for the fans, right? Because we hear that. Micah could literally sign a deal on Wednesday and play on Thursday and wreak havoc. We understand that, but I'm a little, I don't know. I always hold out hope that they're going to actually do more than just line him up at edge rusher and, get him involved and have him line up in the A-gap more and actually play some linebacker, not dropping back, coming forward, coming downhill. I just feel like our balloon had burst about, maybe 2-3 weeks ago. I felt like we had momentum coming into the offseason. We make a big trade for Pickens. Before we get into, all the combatants, just answer that. Am I wrong? Did we not? I thought we had some momentum. Did we have a little momentum?
We 1000% did. I mean, last I looked up, the Dallas Cowboys was running around practice, doing the Happy Gilmore dance, just having a blast. and you were starting to get excited about the culture changes that you're hearing from Brian Schottenheimer. You were hearing about, possible Wildcats and Cavante Turpin and, George Pickens, and CeeDee Lamb was out there throwing grenades. And then Jerry Jones says, I got a grenade for Cowboys fans, and threw one right in the middle of our training camp. And I just feel like we haven't gotten that energy back. Like, even from Brian Schottenheimer's interviews, it just doesn't feel the same
It
anymore.
seems like he's gotten really low key lately. I don't know. I'm seeing
It's not fun, shoddy, dancing around, so it's like, it's just Jerry Jones. And it's just unfortunate, right? Because I really felt like, we were kind of getting there, and I wanted to put Brian Schottenheimer in the most optimal situation as possible. But this is the price you pay when you're the head coach of Dallas. And this is Mike McCarthy's probably sitting back drinking his beer, playing, saying, I told you so,
Yeah, I know.
You're not wrong there.
Yeah, exactly. So it's very unfortunate.
I just feel like our bubble was burst, and it's like, listen, if they bring him in, okay, that's going to give. I think it's more for the fans. I really do, because, and I think Brian Schottenheimer might have just realized, it's like, well, shit, I really don't have much control here. I'm at the mercy of, we call them the Muppets, on this show, like we call them the Muppets up in the, Jerry and Steven, we're at the mercy of the Muppets. Now, we have also called on the carpet. Me and Phil were big, and we still are, but I feel like, and I want your opinion on this, do you think Will McClay has a blind spot when it comes to defensive tackles? I mean, just think about what's happened.
It depends on what type of defensive tackle, right? You're talking about
not edge rushers. We know they're good at edge, but
I think the three techs, he's okay. The big nasty nose tackles, I feel like there's a struggle there. But getting back to what you were saying about Micah, I think it also impacts the team as well, because think about this: when they moved from DeMarcus Lawrence, they have coined Micah Parsons to be the leader of this team. They put his locker right next to Dak Prescott, and also for this defense. So you have no Overshown, and you have no Micah Parsons out there possibly. Who is the defensive leader out there that can lead this defense? Trayvon Diggs is going to be out. Osa doesn't say much. Really don't have a lot of veteran guys out there, so that changes the dynamic.
Solomon Thomas is quiet,
Yeah, Solomon Thomas. Yeah, I mean, hell, you might. I mean, Sanborn's not going to say
Diggs, but you don't know if
he's out. Yeah, he's out.
Yeah.
So you might get like Malik Hooker maybe, and Wilson. So
yeah,
I was going to say Diggs is fighting for his own social media life where he gets his own digs. So it's like,
exactly. Yeah. So it's a void right now. But going back to defensive tackle, I think that there is a kind of a weak spot when it comes to Will McClay defensive tackle. But I think also from a philosophy standpoint, they don't know what they truly want at that position, because Dan Quinn and Mike McCarthy wasn't a fan of Mozzie. They didn't want that pick when, you guys were here in Kansas City. They took him anyway. Then you bring Mike Zimmer in. Mike Zimmer really wasn't a fan of him, but you tolerate him. So now he's kind of stuck on Eberflus. So you drafted this kid that didn't fit your coach's philosophy, and now he's kind of just losing weight, gaining weight, losing weight, like an Ozempic commercial. And there's no true point of emphasis or plan for Mozzie Smith, and he's kind of getting lost in the shuffle because there's no continuity across the board.
Randy McIntyre says, Jerry likes a soap opera. F Jerry. Yeah, I hear you, Randy. I do. We're over it. Again, I don't know why. Like, we've been saying this for a while, If you want to go young, then why? Again, I'm a Dak fan, I want to, but I mean, if we want to go young, then why are we signing him to a mega deal? Like, it's just like they're very discombobulated to me. Like, they don't want to sign Micah, you know what I'm saying? But they'll go out and trade for Pickens. It's like, I love the move, but there's no rhyme or reason why they decide what they do. And you did say it, where Micah's agent did come to them, but they're always a year behind, in my opinion. They should be looking at Tyler Smith now is what they should really be talking to, right? This deal should have been done last year, in my opinion. Do what Eagle Drew, do what the Eagles do. I hate to say it, but the Eagles address, they earmark who they want. And this is my main this is my main problem with the organization. Everybody, I don't know who was in charge. Like, we say Jerry, but do we really think Jerry is really calling the shots? Now, he may be the final answer, but I do believe it's Steve and Will McClay that are formulating all the information and bringing it to Jerry. I just do, but very confusing as to why they're doing what they're doing. But anyway, let me bring in everybody. We got Eagles Drew representing the Birds in the house. Say hello to J Tuck, Drew.
What's up, J Tuck? Hey, salute to you, brother. I do follow, I do listen to you. I think you're one of the more rational Cowboy fans out there, so I respect your opinion. I do follow you, bro. So
appreciate it, man.
Glad to be on the stage with you, brother.
I got Jay Smooth's, everybody who's involved, all their information in the description. If you don't know who he is, go sub up. He knows what he's talking about. Our next combatant is representing the Commanders. Is Commander Chris. What's up, Chris? How are you, brother?
Doing good, man. Doing good.
Jay Smooth says Dallas needs to sign Gilmore. Real quick, what's your thoughts on Stephon? I know my thoughts, but they've heard it 1,000 times. Jay, what's your thoughts on Stephon Gilmore?
I would 1,000% do it. Our cornerback room is lethargic, as we would say. Not much there. We have some question marks, but from the conversations I've been hearing in-house, that there's no intention for them to sign Gilmore or Asante Samuel Jr. So I don't know, Cowboys Nation, but it would make sense. But here's the problem. Once again, we're pressing up against the clock, so you got to get these guys not only physically ready, but in game shape ready, right? We have a new defensive staff, new defensive coordinator. So just tossing Gilly out there and say, okay, go play. I mean, of course he can play, but still there's going to be a lot of changes from when he was here, under Dan Quinn at the time.
Yeah. I mean, again, and I'm hearing that the issue with Gilmore is Gilmore knows his value. He's not going to come in and play for the veteran minimum. And once you hear that, he's not coming to Dallas. I don't believe Dallas is going to pay him probably his $5 million that he wants. $4 or $5 million is probably where he wants. There's no way they're paying that. None. Yeah. Our next combatant is representing the New York Football Giants. Giants Jesse, what's up, brother? How are you? Say hello to Jay, and maybe you start out the questioning. What we do, Jay, is we have each guy ask everybody a question, and we get it started. Sometimes it gets heated, sometimes it's gentlemanly. Like we don't really care which. But what's up, Jesse? How are you, brother?
Gentlemen, how's up? What do you want to talk about?
Well, you tell me, brother. You have something for Jay Tuck? What do you got for him?
Yeah, Jay Tuck. An honor and pleasure to meet you, my brother. I'm going to subscribe to you. I like men who are down to earth.
Appreciate it.
But the situation going on with Micah. Do you think he'll be signed before? I'm thinking it's at Banner night they're going to sign him. This is all drama. I'm thinking that. What's your thoughts on that?
We were just talking about that. I am a gambling man. I would probably say he's not signed by week 1.
Wow.
I'm going with not signed.
Damn.
Yeah, because like I said, the thing that scares me the most about this, that they haven't started negotiations. The analogy I was telling Cowboys fans, imagine we're going on vacation in 2 weeks and you say, I want to lose 15 pounds. Okay, cool. That could possibly be, something you can pull in range. But then you say, hey, Tuck, I haven't even started working out yet. All right, bro, like you have a lot of ground to gain. So even if they started negotiations, let's just say tomorrow, you literally have a week to get this deal done. And with all the disrespect that's been going back and forth, it would be hard pressed to get it happen, because they're gonna have to go through the contract, send it back and forth, red line everything. So the only hope I have for Cowboys fans is that this is a whole WWE type situation where they've just been playing this entire time, and they're sitting there, and it was really they were waiting to get this Netflix thing out, but it doesn't sound like it to me.
What's up, Mouse?
Press for time.
Now, my question also is: do you think the rumor about Green Bay? Think that's a possibility?
I don't think they'll trade him, especially not the Green Bay. I mean, trading Micah Parsons to the team that's been dog walking us in the playoffs would be just, I mean, it would be Jerry Jones-esque, but it wouldn't make much sense.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
I think the Bills also have reached out, which, it's just hard to get the value for Micah Parsons. If it's me, like I'm sending him to like Tennessee or somewhere that where you'll never hear from.
Buffalo, I like that.
Three
number ones, Ed Oliver, and
Cleveland. I'm sending them there. Like, well, never.
For all careers go die.
There's no chance in hell.
Here's the deal, Jesse. He's not going to be traded, brother. He's not going in. That's the thing. that's why I wish for Micah's. I really do wish. I feel bad for him because I don't know the term I'm looking for, Jay, but I feel bad for him. I feel like it's very awkward, what's going on, and he should just be home, man. Take the $50K hit. You're still in your rookie deal. They could throw that out the window, I believe. So it's not like that's a big deal. And once the games start, you saw what happened with Emmitt Smith. Now it was a different situation. I don't think it would get to that, but now you're starting to see the Terry McLaurins come in. You're seeing the Trey Hendricksons come in. I would assume Mike is coming in. I don't know what the next card to be played is. It's a very weird situation that's happened. It's not normal. You're hearing Adam Schefter saying that it's
they were waiting to release
irreparable.
Mozzie Smith to get money. That's why.
Again,
I think
They
that
have plenty
agent
of
got to his head. I think that agent got to Micah's head.
Oh yeah.
all right, Eagles Drew, buddy. Go ahead,
Well, I was
man.
say, did we introduce Chris? I didn't know if we
Yes.
introduced Chris.
Yes, we did. I did.
Okay.
No, he's all right.
I did. I introduced Chris. So whoever wants to go, man. What do you got, Drew? I know you got something. I know it.
We haven't heard from Chris. I don't know if Chris wanted to say something. I can yield until after Chris.
That's
That's cool.
I did introduce him. He didn't say much.
You always
Yeah,
cut him off. That's why.
I got a question for Tuck.
All right, cool.
Actually, it's good seeing you, Tuck, man. We did take a beat down yesterday on the roundtable.
No, they tried to jump me, but I survived.
But going into the final preseason game, who's your one or two players that's on the bubble that really needs to shell out to make the team?
Yeah. So for the Cowboys standpoint, I would say wide receiver Trayshawn Holden out of Oregon. He's had a phenomenal camp, but he just hasn't gotten a lot of opportunity in preseason. We talked about it because possibly Joe Milton. So I know last game, this fact that he got some fourth quarter reps was kind of to me. So I think Trayshawn Holden is a guy that really needs to have a standout preseason because there's a possibility that, with the Mingo injury, he could still kind of move up in there and they can stash IR stash Mingo. So I would probably go with Trayshawn Holden. And then a guy that I feel like is going to need a massive Hail Mary is going to be Deuce Vaughn. With Jaden Blue coming back from the ankle injury, possibly playing Friday, I think if Deuce wants to make this roster, he really needs to put on the show. But I'm going to be hard pressed to see if he makes his roster because everything that he does or we're supposed to have done, Jaden Blue does as well as far as being a receiving threat. You're kind of your hit your head on the goalpost type guy. So I would say Deuce Vaughn and Trayshawn Holden offensively, and then defensively. Our defense is so bad. I think everyone has a chance. So I'm probably gonna go with Trayshawn Holden and Deuce Vaughn.
Nice. I'm kind of the opposite when it comes to Holden. I think when it comes to the wide receivers, there are some question marks. I think Mingo injury kind of helps a little bit out. I think Brian covered that as well too. It's just it helps. It gives somebody an opportunity that probably wouldn't have been able to be on this roster, maybe in a Flournoy or whatever. Now when I look at Holden, I think to me he's the best candidate out of all of them, just because what you haven't seen on the field. But at the same time, I feel like Jalen Brooks has been kind of given that opportunity. Nothing's happened. Jalen, let's go through the Jalen's, right? I think by this point, Tolbert, he's always shown that in college. Every single year, he gets a little bit better. He gets a little bit better. He gets a little bit better. And, his trajectory is to go up. But I think with Holden, where we talked about it when he first came and goes, how is this looking into the camp? And I really liked him just because obviously I'm an Oregon guy. And so I would watch them play behind two great wide receivers that would just the defense would overlook. And so he was that third wide receiver, and he complimented them very well. And again, you have to be able to go against linebackers, guys that can run fast. So I think that's where he hasn't been able to show anything. And I think, again, Milton is the culprit a little bit. If you can get something behind them where you can get some guys. I just, all of a sudden, I didn't even know what number he was. It kind of feel like that was all of a sudden I saw, hey, who's that single digit number? I'm like, oh no, that's Holden. Oh crap. I felt bad, because I obviously didn't do the homework enough to know exactly who that was. But when you look at this, wide receiver core, because I want to kind of tag on to his question there. Who are the ones that make the receivers? I mean, you obviously see Lamb, you got Pickens there, and Turpin. I don't know if you really mix them in there because he's a kick returner, but he's going to be used all over the place. So beyond the those guys, who makes this roster as a wide receiver?
Yeah, I got CD, Pickens, Turpin, Tolbert, Mingo be IR. And then you have the conversation about, Ryan Flo, Jalen Brooks, and Trayshawn Holden. The thing that worries me about it depends on if I'm making the decision, right? But I feel like Trayshawn Holden should get the nod over Ryan Flo and also over Jalen Brooks. But Ryan Flo was a draft pick versus a UDFA. You also have to think about when it comes to Trayshawn Holden, I think they're paying him like $3,000. Like he's paid like the bare minimum for UDFAs, but he also has your wide receiver coach in Junior Adams that can kind of advocate for him. So I would probably
Now let me ask you a question before you answer that. If you were a outside team and you had those three guys sitting on the wire, which one would you pick up?
Trayshawn Holden.
Yeah, okay. Exactly.
The thing that concerns me though, but I don't know if Trayshawn Holden's put enough game film out there for teams to want to swipe him away. But I will say this: sometimes I feel like Cowboys media, content creators, we talk too much because we put his highlights all over social media. And so even if you're kind of sitting back, kind of watching the Cowboys, you can kind of see what this kid is doing. But yeah, Trayshawn Holden has the biggest upside, I would say, outside of Pickens and CD. To be honest with you, his ceiling is through the roof.
Yeah. Just got to get opportunities.
Yeah, well, my thing is, I fear that they're going to try and outthink themselves when it comes to guys like Holden and Phil Maffa, which is why I agree with Tuck as far as
who's that T?
Ridgeway. Yeah, it was
yeah.
Jonathan Ridgeway. Again, I mean, listen, he was decent with Washington, and then they moved him. He's still, again, they dangled him, and somebody picked him up. I think they're maybe trying to maybe not show a lot with Holden, and because he didn't get anything.
They're trying to be sneaky.
Yeah, but I think they could lose. I think
because his college tape is out there, and
now,
it's enough.
My thing is this, and I know they're not going to do it. I would like for them to somehow move Tolbert, or even if they had. I understand that's Dak's number 3, but when you start looking at, let's face it, you got CD, you got Pickens, you got Turpin, who we're hearing is getting receiver 3 looks. These guys play Mingo. These guys play special teams. Tolbert is an okay special teamer. I mean, whereas Flournoy and Brooks, they're really good special teamers. So I would be willing. I think in the perfect world, if you could flip Tolbert for a defensive tackle or somebody like that, doesn't have to be anything big. I'm talking about, okay, we're not cutting you, so we're not going to, subject Tolbert to the other 31 teams, and we're going to actually flip him for a player. And I think you could actually get somebody half decent, but I don't think they're going to do that. I think they're going to risk losing Holden. I think Holden's going to be cut. I really do. I think they're going to keep Flournoy. They love him. And Brooks, we'll see. I hope I'm wrong. I love Phil Maffa too, but I think they're going to try and get him onto the practice squad. And that's dangerous, especially with a guy like Tolbert who's in the last year of his deal. West Virginia Country Boy, thank you for the super chat, as well as Mark Custon. Thanks, brother.
Go ahead, Eric, Drew.
J-Tuck, let me ask you this, bro. For the draft that you took with Booker, which I think is the right thing that what Dallas should have done, was to take Booker. But looking at the team now, especially the running back room, which is very less than impressive, do you think Dallas should have put together a package to trade up to get Ashton Jeanty?
I feel like it would have been too much to get Jeanty. So I would say no. The first round pick with Tyler Booker, I'm okay with now because we did ultimately get George Pickens. During the draft, it was team weapons versus team trenches. I was a tech guy. Yeah, I was a tech guy, and the Cowboys tried to move up to get Tet, but Carolina sniped us. So I was perfectly fine with getting Booker. My concern, I would say, is for the draft is the second and third round. Even as I like Donovan and Zikaraku, I feel like we have an abundance of talent at defensive end. That possibly could have went to running back, or even our third round pick could have possibly went for a running back. So if you would have moved and got Tyler Booker, then maybe got a Travion Henderson who's already showing flashes, or a Quinshawn Judkins, or a Caleb Johnson, or I mean, hell, I can go on and on. There was opportunity there.
Dylan Sampson, it goes on.
Dylan Sampson,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
God,
yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
even if you go like to Ollie Gordon, I mean,
know. I loved Ollie.
Don't get me started on his running backs,
yeah,
man.
I know.
So yeah,
I
so
just didn't want Scatterboo, so I'm glad the Giants got
Yeah.
him. Because good luck, Jesse. Sorry, I had to
Thank
get
you
that
very
shot.
much. Thank you. He's doing well, by the way.
I'm sure
Sounds like
he
it
is.
sounds like an STD. Oh, I got some Scatterboo this weekend.
Yeah. Take an
That's all right.
antibiotic.
He's
You'll be
gonna share
fine.
he's gonna
Take a
share the wealth to you
Z-Pack.
guys. He's gonna
Yeah.
share the wealth to you guys.
Yeah, so I mean, I think Jaden Blue has upside, but I feel like there was actually true workhorse backs in the draft, and we passed on a lot of them. Even go to Damian Martinez, because I look at the
Oh,
Cleveland
yes, that's
Browns,
another
like the
one, too.
Cleveland Browns got Judkins
University of
and
Miami, I think.
Yep, yeah, he's from Miami.
Yeah.
So I'm like, Cleveland Browns got 2 running backs. I'm like, okay, we couldn't get one workhorse. So yeah, I'm okay with Tyler Booker. I think Tyler Booker is going to be phenomenal at right guard, but Genty, we lost those dreams and hopes when we beat Chris's Commanders, because I remember we was all geared up for Genty season and everything, and then Devontae Turpin had to return a damn kick. That was the one time we won a game, and I was actually pissed we did it, because I was just like, there it goes. There you go.
Yeah, well, you figure I think we lost 3 spots, I think. Something like 3 spots in the draft. So we probably still wouldn't have been in gent, but we would have been in reaching. I don't think the Raiders were ever moving off of them. We would have had to have been ahead of them. But I hear what you're saying. I like Genty. I do. But again, I think Booker was the right pick. I was a big easy fan. I really was, based on, I was going by what they were saying regarding Eberflus. He was standing on a table at 12 to take him. So the fact that he's there at 44, it's like, oh my God, this is all this value. And I like the player, I really do, but I like what you're saying. Just like, hindsight's 2020. Why give up a 4th round for Milton when you have Shedeur Sanders sitting there in the 4th round, right? That would have been probably something.
Jerry might not have been in the group chat for the NFL that was going to collude against Shedeur Sanders, because if Jerry would have known that was going to happen,
oh my God,
he would have took him. He would have took him, but they must have didn't tell Jerry what was going on, because they know Jerry would have drafted him. So Jerry probably took him in the second, but
our QB situation would be way better, with an injury-riddled Dak, which, listen, he looks great, people. I'm rooting for Dak. He looks great, but we know his struggles, right? Especially in the playoffs. I would love to have Shedeur.
Yeah, in that first round, I was.
Now I know I'm having revisionist history, but jeez.
Yeah, when I was in that first round, I wanted to get a wide receiver too. I was even good with Ibuka. I think that's who it was. So
Ohio
I mean,
State.
and so I mean, I never really ever saw the pick and thing. So I was still kind of in shock. I love the pick at O-line, but it was still kind of a shock to me, because I was just like, man, I thought it was definitely going to be some kind of weapon, because it was one of those points we had done the meat and potatoes for quite a bit, and I felt like, where we were going to pick, you can kind of pick a guy that you wouldn't have to pay a lot of money at a star position. And so that's what I was kind of hoping we were going to do. Do you guys have any other questions?
Yeah, I got one more for you, Jay Tuck. And I've asked this question to a couple of, Cowboys content creators, and I can never seem to really get a solid answer. You're pretty, intelligent guy. Now, my perspective of looking
trying
at
to say. Oh, I'm sorry.
There you go.
Here's the wind up.
He hasn't heard what he wants to hear.
No.
Yeah. Maybe you'll tell him. No, I'm joking. Go ahead, sir. I'm sorry, bro. You keep cutting out a little bit, so.
Yeah.
What about now? Is that better?
Yeah, don't move. Okay.
I have 4 pillars to building a good franchise. And Dallas, I look at them as that team where they're building right now. And that's head coach, quarterback, offensive line, and defensive line. When I look at Cowboys, I see a lot of question marks on all of those except for Dak, right? New rookie head coach, coaching staff. Offensive line is improved, still a lot of question marks, especially at tackle. Defensive line, of course, your edges are really good, but that middle is very soft. I don't really see you guys stopping the run this year. Do you realistically seeing those 4 categories, along with the schedule that Dallas has, really winning 10+ games? Because I really have you guys anywhere between 7 and 9.
10+, no. And this is probably where Cowboys fans get mad at me and start throwing eggs. 10 plus, no. I think the over and under in Vegas is 7.5. I'm taking the over. I have us around 9-10 max.
What did I say, Drew? Come on now. 9
so
or 10.
I just feel like right now there's just too many question marks, because the one thing I could lean on is saying that Dak Prescott was head and shoulders above the rest of the quarterbacks in the NFC East. You really can't say that anymore. Jaden Daniels is emerging, Jalen Hurts is proven, and Jackson Dart is kind of, so that window has closed. Then the talent gap as far as the Cowboys has closed as well. And the one thing that kind of gave me the vote of confidence is, okay, I knew that my coach and Mike McCarthy, even though people don't like him, he was a solid head coach who's been around the league. He's seen a lot. I don't know what Brian Schottenheimer is. We're hoping that Brian Schottenheimer is the next Sean McVay, but we don't know that. He could be the next Ron Rivera for all we know, right? So now you have that uncertainty.
Which one, though?
Yeah.
Early Ron
exactly.
was good. Riverboat was good.
The Commander's version.
Yeah.
Not the.
Man.
I hate to say
Here
it,
we
but
go.
yeah. Post-illness, Ron wasn't good. No.
Yeah. So it's like, so now we lose that, right? We lose that advantage. You mentioned the offensive line, our young left tackle and Tyler Guyton, who's out, right? Will he be able to return from the injury? But he even struggled last year. So left tackle's concerned. I feel like across the board, otherwise we should be okay. Tyler Smith, Cooper Beebe, Tyler Booker, Terrence Steele, you can trust them, right? Defensive line, we do not know. It's really Osa Digizua. We have some strong edges, but having strong edges and guys that can pass rush upfield only works if you get in pass rush situations, right? We've been through this before with Dan Quinn, and teams know if you can run the ball, control the clock, and not turn it over, you're going to be in the ball game versus the Dallas Cowboys. So 10 I feel like if Brian Schottenheimer gets to 11, if he gets to Mike McCarthy 12-5, build the statue. But I have us probably right around 10, unless Dak Prescott goes crazy.
That's fair. And my thing is this, Tuck, is back in, I believe, 2016, if I'm correct, we had the number one rush defense. And the reason why was because we were scoring a lot of points. Right. Teams didn't have to run the ball. They were playing, again, like you just said, we were putting them in situations to have to pass the football, which is actually plays into our strength. And if I told you who our defensive tackles were in 2016 with the number one rushing defense, it was Tyrone Crawford and Hagan, the big white dude, but they were both under 300 pounds. It can happen, people. I'm with Jay where I could see a world where it's less than 9 if we suffer any sort of the injuries. But I don't like to look ahead and count or not. There's no way of knowing about injury. Everything being equal, 9 or 10 is fair. I do think it could be bumped up based on if we're scoring it if we're Team 40 Burger most times, which I know we can, but we have a tough schedule this year. If we can get 38 points a game, maybe not against the Eagles. And I always couch that. I go, why are you couching it? Well, because they're the best team on paper in the league. So we may not stop Saquon Barkley, but that doesn't mean we won't stop Robinson for the Commanders or the rookie. I think all in all, we're going to be a better run defense than we were last year. I like Jay Toye a lot. He's come a long way in a short time. He needs to learn to play in the system. Again, he's probably going to get the start from what I'm hearing next to Osa. But we need another guy. I don't want to I know everybody's saying Maji's a starter. Maji shouldn't be a starter. He just should not be a starter just because he gets blown off the ball too much. At least Jay can hold the line of scrimmage and take a double team. Again, you're one tech. You don't want to get upfield. But anyway, go ahead.
Game time.
Yes.
Game time. Do you really honestly think that throwing to set up the run is really?
No, I do not. That's not the way to win a Super Bowl, but that's a way to be.
It's just.
But again, that's different. Yeah, that's two different questions. You didn't say, does Dallas have what it takes to go to a Super Bowl? So you say, what could they be? Well, if Dallas is up, I just got done telling you in 2016 they had the number one rush defense because they scored points. They didn't run the ball, unbelievably. It was better than it is now. But again, I think that's the answer. You're asking me how.
So you're going to jump from scoring 19 points to 38 a game?
Well, again,
That's crazy.
again,
They got weapons, Drew.
why would you
They got
say
weapons.
that?
Yeah.
Again, Jay
Yeah.
Tuck, help me out here.
Yeah, I think, I mean, because let's talk about this, right? If we're playing Philadelphia week 1, which we are, right? And you're Vic Fangio, would you rather the ball in Javonte Williams and Miles Sanders' hands 30 times in this game, or in Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, and George Pickens? You would take the ground game. There's just not a threat yet for defensive coordinators to be concerned. So if the Dallas Cowboys are going to be contention or playoff contention, it has to be on the shoulders of Dak Prescott. Now, is that the optimal way to play? Absolutely not. I wish we had Amari and Hampton in a pretty number 8 jersey that can hand the ball off to 30 times and get out here with these dirty, grimy victories. We just don't have that right now. So I think that Dak Prescott, this offense, is kind of going back to what Brian is saying, 40 burgers, try to put up points, and that's the only way. And the thing about this, when Dak did have wide receiver weapons, we could score on a lot of people, right? Because a lot of people don't understand, when we had that prime 3-headed dragon, we never really got to really fully enjoy it and embrace it, because we had Michael Gallup, CeeDee Lamb, and Amari Cooper. Well, Michael Gallup got hurt week 1 versus Tampa. He comes back, then I think CeeDee goes out with a concussion, or Cooper went out with a concussion, and so there's all different things going on.
They don't like to hear that, especially Eagles fans, the injuries. But unfortunately, that's
our corners are like
I
that.
was about to say that
I mean,
too.
that's-
All those injuries you got.
But that's a fact that you have to equate that. Again, we've seen a lot of times teams go from, especially in the NFC East. There's a reason why it's been, 20 years since the same team hasn't won back to back. Yeah, I mean, you know, there's a reason for it. But let me get to the super chats.
One of Dak Prescott's best games, I know people last night like, oh, it's old Brady. Take out old Brady. When he came back from the injury and we played Tampa opening night.
They lost, but it was an unbelievable game.
Dak was on fire because he had all those weapons. And then we heard the news that Michael Gallup was out for like 4 to 5 weeks, right? So I feel like it can be more like that to start the season with George Pickens, CeeDee Lamb, Jake Ferguson, and and Dak Prescott, and then we'll fix all the other stuff later.
It's not a way.
I have some pushback.
Yeah, well, let me read the super chats, and then you could push back. Saquon Barkley averaged 168 yards a game last year versus the Cowboys. What has changed from last year to stop him? Linda Conyers, thank you. And the other super chat was, if our aerial assault is legit, Saquon Barkley is stopped. Again, that goes to my point. Thank you, Dirty Sanchez. You guys are both in the hopper. Go ahead, Tuck. You want to get to Linda's point about 168? What have we done?
Nothing.
I know.
I mean, I'll say this, Linda. I feel like our linebackers should be improved from last year, hopefully. So Matt Eberflus has his linebackers playing better, but that it's still Saquon, right? And we haven't seen these guys tackle yet, so I can't really say much has changed. But like I said, the only hope is Dak Prescott is going to be our #1 run stopper and just put up points and have to force the Eagles to air it out and keep up with us. That's the only hope, because if we're trying to we're not going to be able to run the ball down Philly's defensive front, and we're not going to be able to stop Saquon on the ground. That's just not a game that's going to work in our favor. There's not too many teams that can go blow for blow with Philly like that. The only way that we can do it is spread them out and take advantage of their secondary and their corners, get the ball out quick because they have some rushers out there, and put up points at a high clip and a high pace and hit them with something that hasn't been seen before when it comes to Dallas Cowboys football. But if you think that, I mean, if Brian Schottenheimer is who he says he is, and he lines up and gives the ball to Javonte Williams and Miles Sanders 35 times a game, and we beat Philly on the road, then I'll eat my Cowboys hat. I'll apologize to Schottenheimer, but I just don't see that as a way for victory versus the Eagles on opening night. You're going to have to air that thing out. If Dak Prescott's over and under pass attempts at 32, 33, smash the over. It's going to be 40, 45. Be honest with you.
Dominating the run gives you a time of possession, says Linda. Yeah, again, that's the way to win. Again, but I've already said, though, there is a path to where that offense and that running game is on the sideline. Okay, your worst nightmare, Drew, is to be down 14 points in the fourth quarter and having to have Jalen drop back, right? And then you have Micah coming off on one end. You have Osa coming up the middle. You have Easy or Marshawn Nealon or whoever, Dante Fowler.
Easy work.
Beautiful.
Again,
Easy
easy
work.
work. If you're down 14 and we have a pass rush, you're going to lose the game, brother.
But see, but here's my pushback.
That's what's
like
going to happen.
But see, game time, you guys like to, and you guys try to ding me on it, but you go back to what you said, 2017,
16,
where you guys had 2016, where you used, all these formulas, but then you tell us, oh, you can't go back because every year is a different year.
No, I'm
So
saying
are
that's
we
the
are we
blueprint
supposed
to.
can we go
That's the
back, or
blueprint to
are we to
win.
look
Is
at?
what I'm saying.
But you don't know what you have. That's the thing. Dallas
Yeah,
doesn't
but you
know
don't
what
know
they have.
what
You
we
don't know
have.
what we have.
But you know what you have
Well,
either,
well,
Drew.
Well, I know I have
Drew,
George
you look at-
Pickens. I
if
know
you-
I
if
have
you
George
look at what's
Pickens.
behind me,
I know I got
if you look
CeeDee
at what's
Lamb,
behind me,
and I
I
know I
know
got
what I
Dak
have.
Prescott.
Yeah, I know.
Okay,
You guys
so-
keep
so if
falling
we
on
get-
that sword.
Yeah, again,
Okay,
that's
so
what
if we
they
can,
do.
well, wait a minute. Let me finish. If we can go back, I can tell you statistics that the Eagles had the number one defense. That you don't score on us. You don't run on us. We had a middle of the pack sacks, and we had
You're
the
going
top
off of last year? Is that what
passing
we're going
defense.
off of
Well,
last year?
You're going off of 2016.
No, but I'm saying.
So what are we doing?
No,
What are
all
we
I'm
doing
saying
here?
is we didn't have our
Wait a
starting
minute,
quarterback last year. So yeah, if we don't have our starting quarterback, we won't be able to do it again
But
this
your
year.
starting quarterback was 3-5 before he left. So who's to say he wouldn't have had? He
That
would
was
have
last
won 2 more
year.
games.
Again, I'm
So
not saying that. But
So
I'm
are
just,
we doing? But see, that's my point. You guys don't get to say last year or go back to 2016.
I'm
but
just
tell me I
giving you
can't
an
go back to
example how
last
they
year.
can be
Well,
successful.
I'll tell you.
And I'm giving you an example
Well,
of
when
how
you-
No,
Dallas.
no. I'm giving you an actual
don't-
fact.
And I'm giving you
Well,
actual facts that Dallas
yeah.
doesn't match up well with us.
Wait.
And
Nobody
we-
said we did.
We already proved
Nobody
to you
said
that.
we did.
Yeah, I
True.
would say I think we already brought up this thing. You already brought up the fact that he
What
went
are you
3-5 or whatever, and the year before that he
Rob
did the
A,
same
thank
thing
you, brother.
and actually pulled out of that hole and actually did well with the team. And obviously
we
you
don't
don't.
know
That doesn't mean that you automatically repeat that. That doesn't mean it
Yes,
automatically
it's not
goes.
the NFL,
but his
brother.
history, when you talk about if we don't know if he would have done it. Well,
So we
the year
don't know
before
if he would have, but we
actually
don't know. Phil.
did it. He
But we don't
actually
know.
did it.
We don't know if he
Drew,
would have pulled
That's
out.
true.
last year.
Hypothetically, we don't know, but hypothetically,
So
you
what are
don't
we
know.
talking about?
We're
So
talking
Drew,
about
okay,
a game
Drew,
plan.
I guess
Drew,
hypothetical.
Can I say
is what
something?
you're trying
Can
to
I say
narrow
Sit
something,
down.
please? Can
Go
I
in
say
the
something?
weeds. What?
Okay, yeah, behave yourself. Well, look here, Drew. We want to talk about present? Let's talk present. You got Brown still out. Your backup quarterback got hurt with a finger. Makuba with a hamstring. Wilson. And you got receiver with a lower back, Carter, and you got Milano with a concussion. So how do you know? Are you going to be 100% the first game you face these guys?
Do I get the answer? Well, first and
Yeah,
foremost, Jesse,
He's
before you come with your information, make sure you have facts because AJ has been practicing. He's been doing some light running, so he'll be fine for week 1. I
Light
know
running.
you're nervous. I know
Light
you're nervous,
running.
Go.
right? And
So was Mike.
Makuba has a light hand, so I'm not worried about that. Again, how we match up with Dallas. Dallas doesn't match up really well with us. We match up really well
Nobody
with
said
Dallas.
we did. We're telling you
I'm just
the
saying.
recipe.
I'm just answering Jesse's
I just
question.
asked if you
Ask my
are you
question.
100%.
Well,
I,
I would
Go
think
ahead,
so.
Jay, get in
And
here.
if he is, even if he's not,
Talking
Yeah,
our
I don't
receiving
agree with
core-
that.
Hold on, Jesse, our receiving core is better than Dallas's receiving core after their two top. After their two top, they fall off the cliff.
Whoa! Hold on.
Can someone name who was Dallas Cowboys leading touchdown receiver last year? Not the Cowboys guys, but can y'all tell?
Tolbert, right?
I said not the
Wasn't
Cowboys.
it Floyd Nolan?
Okay, my bad.
All right, how about their leading touchdown rusher?
That's a no, Jay.
Right. So we've improved those positions drastically. You're comparing last year Jalen Tolbert to George Pickens, which I think we'll all agree is a massive upgrade, right? Even if you go with Ezekiel Elliott to Javonte Williams or Miles Sanders, I think that we will probably all agree that that's an upgrade as well. So our offense has improved. So I think that's what we're trying to go off of, is that historically when Dak Prescott stays healthy and he has the weapons that we had to get bloody for just to have him get, typically the offense is one of the top 5 scoring offenses in the NFL. Now, will that translate under Brian Schottenheimer? I think it will, because it's not going to be Brian Schottenheimer's offense, it's Dak Prescott's offense. So I think that's what we're saying. Now, do we match up versus Philly? I think that's a tricky question, because you look at it on paper, yes, Philly is the more talented team. roster by far, right? But what people have to understand this familiarity in our division, right? When the Giants and Commanders play, it's not this wide margin because they're comfortable with each other because they see each other 2 times a year. It's the same thing when the Cowboys and Eagles play. I get the talent on paper, but we've seen everything that you guys done 2 times a year, so there's no surprises. We're very familiar. It's like if I play you guys in Madden every weekend, you're going to know what I like to do, I'm going to know what you like to do, and sometimes it's going to be a back and forth matchup. It's always been that way in the NFC East, so you can't just say we don't match up well with the Philadelphia Eagles. It's a divisional matchup, and things can go either way, which we've all seen. I mean, hell, we were in a fight over against our lives versus the Giants last year. You know what I'm saying? Like until neighbors went down with a concussion. So when you're talking about divisional matchups, you have to kind of toss the paper in the separation, the rosters out the window because anything can happen.
And you can only, let me get to the 2 his super chats, and I want to get to Chris Dooley. Rob Bay, Dallas will be too one-dimensional if Philly drops 7 and rushes 4. That's the key, Rob. Rob, you hit it. Dak is 3rd in the league against the blitz, but if he has to sit and have to deal with a 7-man defensive backfield, and that's where it gets dicey. That's where it gets dicey. Great point, Rob. And the other super chat, Jay Smooth. Philly's secondary is suspect. Drew, quit talking.
Our defense. I think ours is.
Anyway,
That's cat.
now, Jay
I like to jump on that.
Well, again, I'm not going to – I don't know what Jacorian Bennett's going to bring to you guys. I love Mitchell, and I love DeJean. You guys
Dude, I love that wide receiver pickup they got.
Jay Tuck just brought something up, and that it goes right to Chris Dooley, Commander Chris. You, of all people, know the NFC East is a weird – you can't go by who's good and who's bad because things happen. The case in point against your Commanders, Dallas went into Landover and got the win last year.
Dude, how the hell was that?
And that was we were not a good football team right there, but yet we still went in and got the win, right? So my question to you, and we almost beat you a second time, God forbid. Man, I'm glad we lost the last one. But you had something to say to Chris, and you could comment on the whole NFC East rivalry, and just because you're good doesn't mean it's going to mean anything against the Commanders, the Cowboys, or the Giants. Chris, you wanted to get in and say something. Yeah.
Actually, I wanted to get up back on Drew. Actually,
yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah,
about his team. Okay, actually, your secondary. I mean, you do have. Actually, I do follow your team. They're starting Odori Jackson right now. He was terrible today in practice. He's been nothing special in the league. Bennett, he's not being able to follow Vic's, his lead right now. They've been holding him back in the 2s and 3s. Keeley is now practicing with the 3s. I mean, your secondary is getting very sus. As for your safety keeps getting bumped and knocked down and back up and back down. I don't even know if he's got the size to play it. You got Trotter with not that much experience is going to play there. You lost your Super Bowl MVP, which it wasn't Hurts. It was Sweat coming off of it. And you lost your spark plug Williams. I mean, your defense is looking a little thirsty for Dallas week 1.
Okay. Allow me to answer. Now, see, there's levels to this. Now, if you would have said, "Hey, Drew, your cornerback 2 spot is looking suspect," then I'd have said, "You know what, Chris? You are 1,000% right. Cornerback spot 2 is looking sus, right?
Yeah,
I'll give you that. Adoree Jackson, Keely Ringo is looking like when Dak's hamstring back over there on the other side, looking really bad. But if you look at, we got Quinyon Mitchell. We still have Reed Blankenship. We still have the best slot corner in the game, who is Cooper DeJean, right? And I'm not worried about our rookie. You saw the work that he did on Saturday, right? So I'm not worried about that. Now, if you look at a little depth, then yeah, I'm a little concerned. I'm not worried. But if you say cornerback 2, yeah, we are a little bit sus. But I like the Jacorian Bennett ad. I like it. He comes with a lot of experience, and he's played against some of the top corners in the AFC. Now, I'll say this:
Flip Shelton.
you compare our cornerback our cornerback room to Dallas's cornerback
Right
room,
now, yes.
that's barbecue chicken. You compare our backfield to Washington's, that's baby back spare ribs.
Nah.
And like the only
Baby back
one, New
spare
York's
rib.
corners, is pig
Help me
ears.
out here.
So if you look at our defense, compare our backfield
So there's
compared
no
to everybody
excuses then.
else's.
Yeah, and both of those.
I'm not making excuses.
in both of those positions-
We're gonna cook Dallas.
In both of those positions, you were gifted because of other teams' stupidity. So, like,
Hold on.
it's great.
How can you say
that was us?
But
That
Phil,
was
That was you
Phil,
guys. That
other
was you
teams-
guys.
Phil, could you have signed Saquon Barkley? Could you
No.
have signed?
No.
Could Washington have
No,
signed?
they could
They
not
couldn't
have
even.
signed
They couldn't have barked. They couldn't even
Could-
sign
could-
Talking
Henry.
about the
York-
Cowboys.
Are we
New
talking about the
York
same
kept-
team?
No. See,
Someone
the
to sign
excuse
him.
is you're not going to throw shade and say
Wait
no
a
other team
minute.
had the opportunity to sign Barkley because everybody could have signed Barkley. So
He
don't get
wanted
mad
to
because
come
what our
home. He
GM
wanted
had
to
balls
come
to
home.
do.
When you first got
Like, how you
got
try to-
Saquon, you guys had doubts. 3 weeks, 4 weeks.
How we had
doubts in
doubts
him.
when we went to the Super Bowl
When he
2 years
first got him,
ago?
he's old. He's only 30.
How we have
this
doubts?
and that.
No, Jesse,
Please,
what we
I
have
heard
is a
your own
GM with
stat.
the balls. We got a GM with the balls that go and do big things. Okay? Our GM is not worried about having a Netflix special and living in the past.
I don't know
That's
how
what we
somebody
don't
got
have.
offended. You guys
Even the
offended
GM
by.
That's
That's a
what
good
we don't
point.
have.
Offended by.
It's a good point.
You put that
That's
GM
what we
on,
don't have.
Is that the G?
Because
that's the
look,
space in the
wait a
closet?
minute, Jesse. Wait a
They
minute,
didn't
Jesse.
offer you a
We
Netflix
had
special.
we had a bunch of Dallas
The worst
content
thing
creators
is your
saying
fan
we
base.
should have got Derrick Henry. You should have signed Derrick Henry. You should have signed him.
Dude.
So don't sit there
agree.
looking at us talking about we were gifted. No, we got a GM
Dude,
that has the balls.
we
to go
have
do
a
stuff.
handicap in an ownership in general.
No
We're
excuses,
not. We're
man.
in general. There is. Yes, there is.
Yeah, well,
The
no, it's not
Joneses
because
is
you know
an
what?
excuse.
Hey,
The
Phil,
Joneses
I
He's
is
got
watched
handicap tags on his
Hey
car.
Phil, I watched the Netflix special and it was.
Well, I
for
did
me.
it, and I'm
I
not
really
going to.
enjoyed it. I
You get
would
more
suggest
support
that you do.
from non-Cowboy
but
fans.
Jerry Jones is just as responsible.
And you love Jerry
of building
Jones. You
those
want
teams.
him to
I
live
love
forever.
Long live Jerry
Yes,
Jones. But
exactly.
Jerry Jones is just as responsible of building those teams than anybody else is. And
Well,
after
he's built
Jimmy
some
left,
good teams.
Jerry
Yes.
Jones did the job with teams that went 12-5 3 years in a row.
But
and you
didn't
choked it
finish the
off.
teams. And when he won a Super Bowl, he finished the team by adding a guy like Haley and guys like
I'm
that.
not
He
talking about
doesn't
the
do
90s,
that
Phil.
anymore.
I'm not talking about the
him
90s, Phil.
finishing. I'm talking about him finishing. Giving you an example.
Tuck.
The last time he
Let
finished,
me read the
which
super
was
chat
30
that I want to
years
hear
ago.
from Tuck. Dirty Sanchez. Hooah. Bro, baby back
Long
and
live
spare baby back and spare ribs are two different parts of the rib. LOL. Again, we get the point. We get the point, Dirty Sanchez. I'm getting hungry.
Jake-
I mean, all Drew's talking about is smoked meats, and I'm getting hungry.
Because we're
baby.
going to cook you guys.
Here
We're
we
cooking
go.
Dallas.
Here we go. Anyway,
But Jay
Jay,
Tuck, let me ask Jay
Yeah,
Tuck seriously.
come on,
Look,
get in, help me
I
out.
understand Jerry. I get it, right? But let's be honest. The
You don't
3
like
years
Jerry
that
either.
Dallas
You-
went. No, I listen. The years that Jerry Dallas went 12-5 3 years in a row. That was Dak's Super Bowl window. Who put those teams together? And that was the opportunity. Dak should at least beat San Fran one time to get to the NFC Championship game. That's not on Dak. I mean, that's not on Jerry.
It's not on Jerry. I agree with you.
Well, no. It is on Jerry, right?
I don't-
Let's walk it back, right? When we lost Amari Cooper, a lot of Cowboys fans were saying we need a wide receiver too. We need a wide receiver too. And what did they bring in? They brought in James Washington, right?
Oh,
We
God.
need the Amari Cooper replacement. That didn't work out.
I don't
They
think he played
drafted-
it down. Maybe one.
No, he got hurt in camp.
Yeah.
They drafted Jalen Tolbert, and they walked Dak Prescott there with Jalen Tolbert, Dennis Houston, Noah Brown, and CeeDee Lamb. Right. So what happened was that was a year that Dak struggled and led the league in interceptions. And because he didn't have a primary wide receiver too. Now, Cowboys fans were saying, hey, go get a wide receiver too. Go get a wide receiver too. They had me at Mavericks games chanting for OBJ. You know, we were trying to get OBJ.
Oh, yeah.
Ultimately, who did we go get? We went and got T.Y. Hilton. I'm sure, Drew, you're familiar with T.Y. Hilton because he made the big catch versus Philly. You know what I'm saying? But that,
Fourth
but
down,
that
I think.
So that was a Jerry Jones situation where you clearly knew we needed a wide receiver too, and Dak was struggling, and you did not go fix it. Now they did have some conversations about Brandon Cooks, but they didn't want to give up the value for Brandon Cooks at that time. So what happens? We go to San Francisco, we lose that game. Noah Brown, interceptions, the list goes on and on. Then the next year they go bring in Brandon Cooks. Then we look at this roster and we sit back and say, hey, we need some linebackers because LVE just got hurt. We need a linebacker. We need a linebacker. They didn't go get a linebacker. They took Shaq Leonard, who ultimately Philly got, right, out to lunch, but still didn't sign him. So what happened was the Buffalo Bills sat back and said, oh, shit, the Cowboys are playing safeties at linebacker. Let's just run the ball
They
down.
threw it 13 times, Jay.
Yeah, it threw it 13 times with Josh Allen. And so we got exposed. And what happened is ultimately we got into the playoffs versus Green Bay and got exposed. So what happens is the Cowboys are always reactive versus being proactive. This year, I guarantee you, we'll be having this conversation on future shows that we should have got a defensive tackle and a running back. But they just never do that. So that responsibility does fall on the front office. Now, of course, players still have to play big in big games. But when you look at this roster, and if you're really being authentic about what's going on, you realize it wasn't what it seemed, right? I was one of the Cowboys content creators that year was telling, hey, bro, this Green Bay matchup is a tough matchup. We are not prepared for them. Everyone kind of just turned a blind eye.
So you weren't scheduling the after party like the whole team was?
Nah, I didn't. I didn't have no after parties. I was trying to warn everybody because the way this roster built is not built for winter. It's not built winter tough. September, we're perfectly fine. October, around Halloween, maybe even Thanksgiving. But when it gets cold, gritty, and dark outside, the Dallas Cowboys aren't built for that kind of football. And that's why we struggle with the San Franciscos, the Philadelphia Eagles, the Detroit Lions, the teams that's going to really just line up and punch you in the mouth and force you to fight back. That's the biggest problem with the Dallas Cowboys. They can't fight in their own weight class because they're not built that way yet. And honestly, they're not built like that this season. So our only hope is just to air it out, become the greatest show on turf, and hope for the best. That's it.
So Jay Tuck, the year that Jack was the runner-up MVP, that year I think that's the year they lost to Dallas, right?
Or Green Bay.
Yeah.
I mean the Green Bay. I'm sorry. Yeah. So see, I hear what you're saying. But I can't put that on Jerry because it wasn't Jerry that threw the interception deep in his own red zone when he was down 7-0. It wasn't Jerry that threw the pick six when you were down 20 to 20-7, 20-0,
right?
Where you were marching down the field to get your team back in the game with a touchdown or even a field goal. Dak throws the pick six. That's not Jerry. I mean, I felt for the old guy watching him watch that. Man, that's terrible.
A question I always want to ask people, this is kind of good. We got other content people on here. Why does no one ever talk about the defense in that Green Bay game?
Well, we didn't make them punt, Jay. I talk about it ad nauseum, and I'm like, the bottom line is we didn't make the Green Bay Packers punt the football once. If you can't get them off the field, you're not going to win the game. I don't care if Jay Tuck is quarterbacking or Primetime Phil with slinging it around from Oregon. If you're not going to win the game if you don't get that. That's it.
Couldn't get it stopped. Because if you go back and listen to the Green Bay, Aaron Jones says, hey, we're going to take the ball. We're going to run it down their throat. That's exactly what they did. And then there was actually a point in the game. I'm not sure if it was the margaritas that's kicking in. I was like, is Dak Prescott really about to do this? And he was roaring back. Him and Jake Ferguson and Michael Gallup.
Now, they would call that garbage time when the defense backs off. That's kind of like
it was.
Like the Ravens of last year,
There's no such thing as garbage time.
I know. I'm telling you what they.
Yeah, I know. But no one talks about
he's a king
who couldn't get a stop and couldn't even force the Packers to punt.
Yeah.
I mean,
trust me. Yeah.
I'm not going to say he played a good game either. You can have it both ways. My thing is, Drew, let me just get my two thoughts in here on this, and then if Phil has anything, I don't know. Regarding Jerry, I've been very critical of Jerry, so I'm not exonerating him, but you heard guys like Emmett talk. You heard guys like Romo. We have had teams that were good enough. For whatever reason, I'm not saying Dak, but for whatever reason, and Emmett made a comment the other day that was really telling. No offense to the Eagles, the Commanders, or the Giants, but this current group of players are not playing against you guys. They're not trying to overcome the Eagles, the Giants, and the Commanders. I know that sounds weird. What they're trying to do is beat the team in the 90s. The weight of the world is on everybody's shoulder. They're tired of hearing it, and it is not easy. I think the easiest part is to go out on Sunday and play the game. I mean, Dallas's record against the NFC East has been pretty darn good. In recent, it's when we get into the meaningful games that they don't seem to come out the other end. But I believe that it's the weight of the world from all the past success. I get it; it's been 30 years, but you don't erase what's been done, and especially the fans in Dallas. Jay could talk to this more. I have guys on here. I was in Dallas, for the Eagle game. I have friends there. Most of those locals can't stand Jerry Jones. Am I wrong with that, Jay?
It's not just Jerry from a roster standpoint, right? I think that's what people.
Micah was playing in the Green Bay game, Rob Bay. Thanks for the super chat. Yes, he
was. And I think Drew, you kind of missed that because you watched the documentary. I haven't even watched it. I'm not watching that shit.
I know you're like prime time.
But it's the circus that gets put on the Dallas Cowboys that I think is too much. We can never just focus on football. Football cannot be the main thing ever. Like even this year, it was starting to be that way, but Jerry Jones just has to have the show. And he even said it in his own mouth. He's like, I don't want just football. I want the sizzle. I want the drama. I want the soap opera. And so even if there isn't anything, because a lot of those seasons you talk about, right, there was a dark cloud. Mike McCarthy was considered being fired for Dan Quinn or being fired for Sean Payton. Like there's that type of conversation. Last offseason, it was Dak Prescott getting the deal done. He had the entire coaching staff, defensive coaching staff, offensive coaching staff on 1-year deals and prove it deals. Like it's always a circus. And the thing that I commend Philly for doing it, if I know we look at Philadelphia right now and say, you know what? Damn, they're one safety away from being a Super Bowl contender. How he's going to go get it?
Yeah,
he's going to go get it, right? If we look at the Dallas Cowboys and say, you know what, we are one defensive tackle from being a Super Bowl contender, just work with the guys that you got, right? Just work with the guys you got.
How about the year where we had, it was the Green Bay game. We had Marquise Bell playing linebacker.
Right, a linebacker.
We wanted to go out and get everybody. Even Dan Quinn said, please go get me Bobby Wagner. I think he signed for $5 million. I don't know what it was, but it wasn't a lot of money. Yeah. Whatever it was, he wanted to come to Dallas, and for whatever reason, this is why they're like disjointed to me. You'll go, no offense to Dak, but you'll go pay $60 million a year, give him a no trade clause, but then you won't go out and get Derrick Henry. And the whole pushback was, well, Derrick Henry last year would have been putting lipstick on a pig. I get it last year, but Jay, let me ask you this: how would Derrick Henry and a young Jadon Blue look this year? Knowing that that you signed him to a 3-year deal. Now you're cooking with gas. You got Pickens on the outside with CD. You got Derrick Henry, a little thunder and lightning option. I get excited when I think about that. This team never can look ahead, meaning the Cowboys. They cannot look ahead, earmark. All I ask is say, okay, guys, get into a room and decide who you want on the team 3-4 years down the road and address it now. Like, get ahead of it.
That's what I've been saying. What the hell do they do when they go to work? Like, what does Steven fucking do?
Part of it. That's the part I don't understand. Real quick, Jay Smooth.
Yeah, it's McDonald.
Drew is smoking that chunky monkey tonight. Yeah. Again, Drew's Drew. We love Drew. Mark Hutchins, thank you so much. Drew. We love Drew. He brings a lot to the. He actually spices it up. Yeah, we get a little spicy. I like it. But anyway, go ahead. I don't know who I cut off this time, but yeah.
I agree with you, Jay. With Jay Tuck, where the focus is not football. Right. At least with Jerry. And I think that trickles down, especially with the new head coach who's building a new culture. I will agree with that you can see there's no momentum there. Like there's no culture. The coach is trying to establish a culture. And here it is, we're at a Netflix special talking about Netflix and chill or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Right.
But I will say that Jerry has done things in the past because, look, I'll say this, Jay Tuck. I know you respect Zach Martin. Zach Martin has come out.
We've heard this a bunch lately from Drew.
And Tony Romo said it. Tony Romo said it on the special too. That Dallas has had the teams to win Super Bowls, and they choked. That came out of his mouth. They choked. So that's why I say, yes, I partly blame Jerry, but some of that blame has to go on the players too.
But what team, right? What team? The Dez Carter year 2014, right? I think that team could have possibly won Super Bowl, but that was a tough break right there. So there's other things that go into winning Super Bowl. You have to have some type of luck bounce your way. The Philadelphia Eagles, not only did y'all have an incredible roster this year, y'all pretty much stayed healthy this year as well. Like there's things that kind of falls your way, right? I believe that 2014 team, the Dez Carter year, if they call that catch, maybe we go on to the Super Bowl. Maybe that's the year we win it. If Jeff Heath comes off the edge and he gets that fumble out of Aaron Rodgers' hands and closes it, that goes to the NFC Championship his rookie year. Or we can stop Aaron Rodgers on 3rd and 20.
Yeah,
Like there's certain
Jared
things,
Cook with a crazy pass.
yeah, so there's different things that goes on. You can have the perfectly built roster, and it's a sports, y'all. Like it's winning Super Bowls is not easy. I know Pat Mahomes and Tom Brady make it feel that way, but it's not easy. I mean, you guys went to that first Super Bowl. I felt like you guys were more equipped that year, but then you just ran into Pat Mahomes. It wasn't that you guys are a bad team. You just ran into a better opponent that day. Like it just happened. So to say that we've had teams that can win a Super Bowl and we choked, it's just sports. It happens. Aaron Rodgers has had great teams, and that same 49ers team that punched on us turned around and punched on him as the #1 seed as well. So you don't hear these types of conversations. It kind of goes on.
It's just, Jay, it's the fact that we are literally the last team in the NFC. And this is what I wish they would, we keep hearing Jerry talk about, actually, they don't know their own facts, Steven and Jerry. They like to say, well, we won 3 straight years of 12 wins, yada, yada. But the problem is Dallas is last in the NFC in getting back to the championship game. Every team has gotten to a championship game since Dallas. So they're last. So until we do that, the Wolves aren't going anywhere. Real quick, Dirty Sanchez, Jerry picks out players and Steven has the measuring tape. Well, there you go. That's that senile old man that, they're just and I don't know, Jay, if you agree, but I always say that Jerry's idol was Al Davis. And Al Davis at the end of his time with the Raiders was it was tough to watch. And I fear that it's bad, but I think I don't know that it'll ever get that bad, but I sure hope. I feel like that's what we're dealing with. An owner and Jerry, and nobody really wants to tell Jerry, Dad, we're going to overrule you and you got to go take a seat, because he's the one that risked all of his money for this fortune that family, and literally it's a family run organization.
GameTime, there was a quote that was said during the documentary, and I thought it was brilliant. And I don't know if it was Charlotte or somebody said that it was a fan. This is not America's team. This is Jerry Jones' team. I thought that was
I would
brilliant.
agree with that.
And I think that's dead on point. It's not America's team. This is Jerry Jones' team.
It's
and
America's
Jerry Jones
team.
is at the helm.
Oh, Jay Smooth, I'm sorry, brother. I missed the super chat. What about a cornerback, Zion Childress, who's pretty decent. Jay Smooth, I love Zion Childress, and I hope you make, that's just me. But anyways,
barbecue chicken.
Sorry about that. Yeah, I know he's barbecue chicken too. I love it. Sorry, Jay, I missed that, brother. But yeah, go ahead, Drew. I'm sorry.
No, that was it. I just thought that was a brilliant synopsis that came from the fan. That this is, and not saying that you guys don't have that moniker, but it's Jerry's team. Jerry's
money tells you.
He's doing it how he wants.
Yeah, he proves it when you come to these contract stuff, and then the media is talking to him, and we're chanting as fans on the sideline, "Pay Micah, and he don't even want to have conversations because, again, he's not going to have conversation with people that at a certain level. I think and it's just to have that outlook towards people it's just shitty. Let's just be real. I mean, what you did to Micah, sticking him in a room, that was shitty. You did it in the past to other players. You did it to we pointed it out. You did it to Romo with Parcells, where you stuck him. Oh, we went knee to knee. They like to brag about it. Oh, we went to knee to knee and say you got to sign this contract, and they love to do that shit. But we can focus on the Cowboys and everything. I want to kind of switch gears a little bit just because we've been kind of talking about the Cowboys and Eagles, and I want to kind of switch over to the Commanders and Giants here. To me, if I have to say, when we're talking about quarterbacks and stuff, I'm going to switch to things. I think the Commanders definitely have the best best quarterback in our division right now, and a bright future. Chris, how
Phil,
are you?
stop it. Stop, Phil.
Yeah, well,
Stop.
Nah,
no,
look,
definitely.
keep going, Phil. Keep going.
Yeah, and
Negative.
but
Negative.
you know what's going on with your running back crew? What's going on with Robinson? Why are they trying to get him out of the house? You know, why can't they trade him to Dallas? Go ahead.
Well, we've Robinson. He's always been good for like the first 8 games, and then he's just always either banged up or underperforms. In his 3 years, he hasn't even gotten over 800 yards a season. I mean, that's why Daniels
That's
was our
Rico
leading rusher last year.
That's beneath Rico Dowdle. We don't want that.
I mean,
That's perfect. That's perfect for Dallas.
I would take anything to get rid of a bag of chips just for Brian Robinson. I mean, I don't think you're going to get much. He's going to be a cut. I don't think we're going to get a trade, and somebody's going to get him on the cheap.
Yeah. Hey, Jay Tuck. Right before, I know you got to leave here in a little bit. Is there anything you want to direct towards the Commanders, Giants, for these guys? Question marks of their team. You know, just because right before you have to go, maybe stir some drama up. You know.
Yeah, I don't know much about drama. I think that it's going to be a tough season. But if I had to say, I think the Giants you should keep an eye on, because a lot of people
Thank you, Jay.
a lot of people called me crazy last year when I told people to watch out for the Commanders. It's like, Tuck, you don't know what you're talking about. Like, watch out for the Commanders, and here they go. Right, this year I'm telling people watch out for the Giants. They're coming. Once they figure out the quarterback situation, they'll be on their way. They're going to have to kind of go through the lumps, but once they kind of figure it out,
maybe stir some drama up.
oh yeah, drama.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Tucker.
Dak Prescott's the best quarterback in the NFC East, and that's my mic drop.
Oh, Jay, you lost all credibility.
Thank you, JT.
Real quick, everybody, anybody that's not already subbed up to Jay, his channel is linked in the description. Before he gets out of here, Momo, do you have anything for Jay Tuck?
Yeah, I have a question.
There we go.
He is a Washington Commander YouTuber, really close friend of Mark Holmes. So get ready. Get ready.
Like black people.
Anyway, go ahead, Momo. Go ahead, Momo. That's why we call him Momo. Go ahead, Momo.
Okay. I seen you. So I really haven't seen you. Maybe I haven't seen your stuff. So as my Washington team goes into this season, do you feel like we have an opportunity to win our division? Do you think we have what it takes to win that division this particular season?
Hard-hitting question.
Yeah, I think you guys do. The one thing that really we'll have to keep an eye on is your running back situation. But also how Jaden Daniels continues to thrive, which I think he is. I think Jaden Daniels is one of my favorite up-and-coming quarterbacks in the NFL outside of Cam Ward. I'm a huge Cam Ward fan. So you guys have what it takes. But the one thing that I do kind of question when it comes to the Washington Commanders is y'all won a lot of close games last year. You know, Hail Mary games, you know, so are you going to be able to overcome it? And what happens if the Jaden Daniels magic isn't there? Right. I don't think that you're going to put a lot of wear and tear on Jaden Daniels this year with the game as well. So I feel like you have to overcome that. So yeah, I think, you know, when it comes to the NFC East, it's always a coin flip. We haven't had back-to-back division winners since Commanders.
Right. Okay, I don't know what happened there. Nice talking.
Yeah,
okay, and my last question I ask you is that I know a lot of Cowboy fans don't like to be honest with themselves about the upcoming season. Are you, as a fan and an analyst, and you critiquing the Cowboys, do you expect the running game to be better than last year, or just the same as usual?
It'll be around the same. You know, I don't expect to see this big blow. I mean, because we had Rico Dowdle who got 1,000 yards last year.
Yeah.
So I mean, in 17 games, but I don't think
missing the first 6 or 7 because we felt the need to start Zeke. Remember?
Yeah, because they were doing rotational. Yeah. So yeah, I would probably think, you know, it'll probably be around the same. But here's the thing: I don't think the Dallas Cowboys will be a running team because of our schedule. We're not going to run the Philadelphia Eagles 2 games. In the division. You're probably not going to run all over the Giants like that. Commanders, Dan Quinn will let you run, but you're not going to run over Detroit. You're probably not going to run over Minnesota, right? Be lucky if you run over Chris Jones in Kansas City. So it's just like I don't see where this run game is going to come from. I still feel like the run game in Dallas is going to be a side.
What's the record then? But based on those numbers, sound like you looking at 6 games,
No,
7
he
games.
said 9 or
win.
10. He said
Yeah,
nine
I got like 9 or 10 wins this year.
Oh, that's on you
I would
being
agree with
generous.
that.
You've
I think
been
9.
you being generous.
Very generous.
If you've been very generous, I do see the Cowboys coming in second place, Washington first, winning 11 to 12 games, and I see based on that, I see the Eagles in third place.
Yeah, but you
Well, how
said
many
you
are
got us in
you
second.
can laugh now, Jake.
Hold up. You said you got us in second. So what's our record? But you're saying we're being generous, 9 or 10.
Yeah,
9
Momo
to, I
can't
think I
count.
win 8 games.
So we're gonna finish in second and have 8 wins. So how many are the Eagles gonna have?
I don't like the Eagles, Momo, but that's ridiculous. Come on, man.
Okay. When we 7-0, I told y'all based on what I seen, we're gonna be 7-0.
7-0.
Smooth says Washington don't have any wide receivers, man.
Okay, here we go.
You was in the Jesse's Giants week 1, Momo.
0-1.
Hey, I think Jay got to go. You got to go, Jay.
Yeah, go ahead, Jay.
Jay got to go.
7-0, man. No, like
we'll be 6-0. We'll be 6-0. We played Dallas. We played Dallas. Got 7 games.
Don't worry. We'll take care of it first game.
Hold on, Jesse.
Yeah.
Let me finish.
We
be
can't
6-0.
talk over each other.
6-0, and we played Dallas to be the 7th game. And Dallas will be the embarrassment of the Dallas Cowboys. And
You almost lost to Dallas last year with Cooper Rush. You lost one game to him. Yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, man.
I'll say this.
Hold on, one at a time.
I'll say this in closing, Momo. I'll be home for Christmas, man. Dak under the tree. Commanders, easy work. We're not worried about the Commanders, to be honest.
Wow.
Worried about no Commanders.
Oh, wait, wrong one.
Yeah. I got a video you Commanders fans should probably watch when you watch about Dan Quinn and how he typically tails off in the second year coaching.
Yeah, he does. He does. I agree with that.
All right, y'all, man.
Right,
appreciate
man.
it.
Thanks, Jay. Thanks a lot, bro.
Thanks, Jay. Tuck. Salute to you, brother.
See you, Jay. Good talking to you.
Pleasure.
All right, now
Momo.
that
when I tell you about when guests come in, man.
yeah, now that it's just us, you guys start having conversations and you start talking over, and you guys can hear, but nobody else can. So you got to wait for somebody to talk and then say something, please. Now that there's a lot of us here, let's try and do that now. All right, so we're not done, people. Shots are fired. Let's go here. Somebody bring something up of substance to a particular person. Let's go. We got Chris Dooley in here. We got Eagles Drew. We got Rob A. We got Joe DeMasi. We got Randy McIntyre. We got Hallie Pierce. We got Momo. Somebody asked something, and one at a time, let's roll. I did get your super chat, Randy. Thank you so much, brother. Let me read it.
You're welcome.
It's tough to, get a word in, but I don't know. I had it, but thank you. I have it written down. Momo smoking that chunky monkey. LOL. But anyway, go ahead. Who wants to go? Who wants to start it off? Chris Dooley, you're awful quiet. You want to say something, brother?
I want to know, Jesse, how much he wants to bet on that first game if he's so confident.
Again with the bets. Take your ass whipping.
That tells you right there.
You cheap. I thought you're confident. Come on now.
I'm not cheap. I'm not gonna spend no money on that. No, it's all right. All I want's my kudos when we beat the shit out of you. Okay.
Yeah. I like to say something.
He wants to bet kudos.
You're always saying something. That's the problem.
Yeah, you always say something.
I'm talking to my
It's all
fellow
incorrect stuff.
Jesse is not going to bet you because bet on Jesse got to buy Giants hats, so he can't afford to bet because he got all these Giants hats he wants to buy this year. So don't worry about it.
You'll be right. We're the weeds, Momo. Remember that.
What's up, David McCain? How are you, brother? Jesse talks too much. He's in the weeds, man. He's excited. Jesse finally has a good football team.
Finally,
now we
that's
can't
all I
shut
want.
him the hell up.
All I want is my respect. That's all I want. We got a bad fucking team. We had bad team for eons. All I want to do with my team right now, with this fucked up schedule that we should have not had.
Watch
Why,
in here.
hold on, Jesse. Why do you think you got a messed up schedule? Why do you think you got a messed up schedule?
That should have been for San Francisco, not for us. We were bad. Why they're going to give us a team
That's just the luck of the draw, brother.
We'll take the bullet. We'll take the bullet. Not a problem.
Teams
We're going to see what we can do.
Their schedule is murder.
But it's okay.
Too bad you don't play in the NFC South.
No, remember, Russell Westbrook or Russell Wilson, whoever you want to call his name, Russell.
Wrong sport, Momo. Come on, man. What the hell?
Which one?
I liked him. I liked him. Michael Westbrook.
Jesse. I'm just saying, Jesse. He's going to make you look gray hair.
An awesome crossover.
You're gonna break about 3 TVs in your home because he's not gonna do well.
What's up, Coyote?
Did you see that preseason? That last preseason you had?
One at a time. Go ahead.
Did you see that preseason?
I don't watch preseason. You was a moron for watching preseason. Don't mean anything.
No moron.
Let Holly Pierce go. She's been raising her hand.
Okay, I'm sorry, Holly. Go ahead.
It's okay. It's okay. And just with Momo, don't worry. I've called the players wrong names. I called Russell Wilson, Justin Wilson the first time I was on here because I was so nervous. So don't worry about wrong names. But my question is, I know that Drew and Rob and all, we always have the Eagles, Cowboys focus. But I want y'all to name something with this year's teams that the Commanders and the Giants have. What is one thing that you think y'all may have a little bit of trouble against them?
The Stay Puft Marshmallow Man of Commanders.
That's a great question, Holly. When I look at the Giants have an established culture or something that they're trying to build, and they can run the football. Right, you saw that last year. They have decent running backs. They have that the offensive line is a little shaky, but their defense is lights out. So they have what it takes to keep them in any game. So I don't think that they'll be blown out this year. I think, it'll be a tough toe for them, but I think they'll be in every game because they can run the football and their defense can keep them in. If they can get turnovers, if they can get good quality play from Russell Westbrook.
Russell
Westbrook is a.
I have to say something.
Momo, let me finish. Jesus,
you're not running for office. In and out, as Rob says, in and out. Let's go. Get it and get out. Get in, get out. Get in, get out.
Momo, you do soliloquies every time you.
We're losing people. All right, in and out. What's the question?
I'm gonna go. Say the Giants. The Giants, they have running game.
No.
I want to talk.
And you ain't going anywhere.
I want to talk. Go ahead. That's what I was saying. I was like, okay, so sorry, Drew. Brian giving me shit over here. If I had to point out somebody, I think Brian's pointed this out as well. So I'll piggyback off of this a couple of episodes before. And I just jokingly said, the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man over there and Deebo Samuel.
Look good, man. Look.
And let's be real, man. He's destroyed the Cowboys. You think about your team, and there's always this one guy that always kicks your ass, and he always does well against you. And unfortunately, Deebo is one of those guys, and now he's in our division. We got to face him twice, and so that's the one I look at. As much as we give him shit and everything, I think he could definitely be a weapon if he can stay healthy.
Dirty Sanchez with the super chat. Is that why Deebo was so chunky? He's trying to be the Commander's mascot, the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
What I seen, the highlights I seen, he did look good.
Dirty Sanchez.
And I just have one more question too
ahead,
after y'all get done.
No, good. You're good now.
Okay. No, it's something I didn't realize they changed the rules on the time overtime. Now that it's going to be both teams are going to have possessions no matter what, how do you think that's going to affect all of our teams this year?
For overtime?
Mm-hmm.
I like it.
Phil likes it.
I like it.
I like it.
It's not going to be a situation, Holly, like it was in Kansas City where a team doesn't have a chance to score, Yeah, with Buffalo.
Rob,
so
what
I
do you
mean,
think, Rob?
I think it's good for the game.
I like it because it give both.
Thanks, Rob.
It give both teams a chance. I like it.
Rob, you got darker.
And then Jesse, yeah.
I don't even know what the question was.
All right,
I'm so into the chat.
Rob is baked, so that's all right. No.
Yeah, right.
So we're going to.
I'm pulling a Leo over here, just delayed by 20 seconds.
Okay, I love Leo. So all right, so who do we got next?
Jesse has his hand raised. Go
all right.
Thank you, guys. One thing I want to mention, Chris, a good thing for your team when I watched that game, Chris Rodriguez looked sharp. That kid looked super sharp. That had me a little worried. He's looking good.
The problem is we got a bunch of backs, and he's probably going to be our practice squad. The guy you need to worry about is Ja'Cory Crosby Merritt. I said that a month ago.
But I can see
he's going to be our starter.
I see Rodriguez being up and coming.
Let him talk. Thank you. Go ahead, Drew. Chris.
No, he's right. He had a great game, but at the same time, I think he's actually going to be our practice squad guy with Ja'Cory Crosby Merritt. I mean, I said that a month ago. He's going to take our start.
So my question is, are you going to find a trade partner for Robinson, or are you going to have to cut him? And will you cut him if you don't find a trade partner?
The word is they already got rid of his locker.
Wow.
Yeah.
So,
now, what's the problem? He wants a contract, or what's the issue?
He's not there. He goes like Chris says. He's always plays well. First 8 games or first 6 games, he disappears, and then I don't know if it's because of his injuries.
The last 6 games.
Is the gunshot injuries when he got shot, almost died, and I don't know if that's affecting him because it seems like he's out. He's not focused.
Yeah. He walked in on Dan Quinn in the bathroom, man, and now he has to get out of there. He's like, Dan Quinn's like, I can't walk past him in the hallway. It's all awkward and shit. He's got to get out of here.
He was cold. He was cold.
My pants were down to my ankles. It was cold. Terrible.
PTSD.
D. Morris says, I'm glad everyone is getting better. I know we hate each other, but I don't want us to be bad teams. I want us to be good, make it hard for each other and the other teams. Yeah, again, I like when everybody's good. I'm enjoying the fact that the Giants hopefully are in a pushover. Wouldn't it be ironic if Daniel Jones goes to the Colts and turns into a really good quarterback? Oh my God.
That wouldn't be crazy.
Not happening.
Again, he's got all the tools, Rob, to be a good quarterback.
He does.
He's a team who quarterback.
Hope it doesn't happen.
Hold up. With an actual offensive line and a decent coaching staff, you never know. Okay, they said the same thing about a lot of these quarterbacks. Help me out, just in history, that maybe their first stop wasn't the best. I mean, look at Doug Williams. You ended up going to the Commandos and winning a Super Bowl, right? I mean,
or Steve Young.
He was USFL, Tampa Bay. Anyway, go ahead, Thomas. I'm sorry, brother.
Game time. Me and a buddy of mine was talking last night, and he told me, and he made sense. He told me, he said, man, if you think about it, he got the right coach in Indianapolis and Steichen.
Yeah.
Like to run, he liked to run the ball, and he liked to run the ball with his quarterback. And Daniel Jones, he's a running quarterback, and I kind of thought about it, and I said, yeah, you got a point there. If he can, if he can figure out Steichen's offense early, you may see something. You may see something like Indianapolis. It wouldn't surprise me.
I'd like to say this real quick. If you're a Cowboy fan in the chat on here, y'all should watch the documentary. I watched the whole documentary. If you are a true Cowboy fan, you have to watch that documentary.
I'm not watching it.
Because here's the reason why I say that. It was great. It was just the little things I seen in that documentary. Well, it tells you why Jerry is what he is right now and why he's hesitant to do.
We've seen these things. We watched it live. We watched it live when it was happening. We lived
it. Yeah, we've lived it all. It's not something I want to go back to.
Since you ain't gonna watch it, did you know that Aikman wanted to leave?
Oh yeah, I mean,
Oh yeah, he was going to be an Eagle as last year. The
Oh,
Eagles.
No,
just
no,
cut him.
no. The first year he was there when Berline took over, and he did, and then he got hit by the Washington Redskins.
But the
Hurt him.
question is, did he leave? Did he leave? No, he
No, he
didn't
was
leave.
no. He put
Yeah,
him in.
so it doesn't
I
matter.
know what I'm saying. That's
I
not what
don't
I'm
care about that.
saying.
I want to win
Listen.
now, man. I haven't seen an
Listen,
NFC championship.
I wish you listened to me and stop. I'm trying to explain to you. That was the
Poking the
point
bear.
where he wanted to leave. He had talked to his agent about getting him out of there. Please let me leave because he felt like Jimmy didn't want him because that's why Jimmy didn't want because Jimmy loved Berline because he was his coach. Berline loves Jimmy.
Yeah, I
Oh,
want to leave
Shirley,
that conversation.
that's horrible.
It wasn't
Shirley,
a new
that's
revelation,
horrible.
Momo. Not a new revelation.
Yeah,
He knew Aikman wanted to leave. He was almost an evil.
Yeah, I mean, he
Yeah.
was yelling and trust me. Yep. So anyways, here we go. I mean, what we got about 2 weeks away. We got still a preseason game. Everybody kind of has in the belt. You guys, I haven't been able to watch all the other games. Like I've seen them flashes here and there. Most everybody. What you guys have had your starters in at least for a drive or two?
No.
Yeah, we've had our guys.
No. Okay.
I don't think Eagles have. I think
Yeah,
Eagles
that's
and
what you were saying.
Cowboys are.
Yeah, Phil.
resting.
Hey, Phil.
Yeah, we played our third string just last week, and our third string.
I honestly wish Phil. I'm sorry, Rob. I didn't mean to interrupt, but I honestly wish, Phil, that the Cowboys would just put in their starters and stop with this stuff. I really do. Yeah.
Well, what I don't understand there, Joe, on that is that if you guys are supposedly trying to be vanilla to, surprise us week one, well, when are you executing these plays?
Agreed.
Right.
I'm
with you, Rob. I'm with you. Yeah.
I mean, we're going to know right away whether, and I think we have an idea, but we have to see it play out. I mean,
it's not going to be good.
Listen.
Are they running the annexation of Puerto Rico? Or
yeah,
what?
exactly.
Well, listen, Rob, if they come out, hold up. If they come out, right, win or lose, let's say they come out and they score 35 or more points, right? Then you can say, well, okay, their offense did. And then we'll have to look at the defense, right? Again, I agree with you. I agree with you. I'm getting them. Thank you.
Okay.
I'll write them out, and then you keep going. Then I'll read them. How's that?
Okay.
Is Dak playing this last game? Any snaps?
Of course
No,
not.
he's not gonna play any snaps. They're starting Joe Milton.
Not even mental snaps. He hasn't even done any of that.
And their starters. I mean, I watch a lot of other Cowboys.
He
YouTubers
said he's eating a lot of sugar smacks. But I don't know.
These starters are sitting over on the sidelines like they've done something. It's disgusting to me. They haven't won anything.
But
well,
Phil,
they are gonna.
Drew?
I'll say, Phil. I will say this: like we haven't had any starters play. But we have had a few of our rookies and a couple UFAs really flash. Like Makuba, although his hammy is messing with him, he really flashed his first game last week. Jahad Campbell is just a total beast. That kid is a monster.
I'm concerned about his shoulders. He came up.
Staying healthy.
Yeah.
Drew, I think he'll be fine. But
let me read these super chats real quick.
Not when you getting shoulder.
I mean, he was holding his shoulder the other day. It was just, I mean, listen. I hope that was his whole thing coming out. I hope he can stay healthy. Mark Hutchton with super chat. You can only believe so much. Did Jerry Jones say only believe half of what you see and nothing of what you hear? Very good point, Mark Hutchton. I am not watching Jerry. Tired of his voice. West Virginia country boy. Again, I think he's a pity. I think we all take pity when we see him now. I think Steven is in a tough spot. I think Steven knows the answer. Just, again, you don't have to watch the documentary. Watch episode 8. Watch the last 15 minutes. They interviewed Stephen Jones, and Stephen Jones started cheering up when it comes to his dad. He wanted to answer the question like he knows what needs to be done, but then he goes, "I'm just glad that we still have Pop. I'm still glad that we have Pops here, because they know he's not going to be around much longer."
Exactly.
At the end of the day, it is sad when he passes away.
Yeah.
It's football, people. I get it.
Yeah.
Everybody is losing their minds. It's been so long, and Drew's on deck. But so again, it is.
I agree with you, big time.
All right.
True.
No, I was saying that
And then
just
we'll go Drew, then
as
we'll
a
go
football
Momo.
as a football fan first, that I love the game. I really enjoyed the documentary. I enjoyed it. I thought it was really, it wasn't that much insightful for some other things like the White
No,
House. I didn't know really about that much about the White House and stuff like that, and some of the things that Michael Irvin went through. But as a football fan, I truly enjoyed the documentary. I thought it was great, and there were some parts that were heartwarming. That I was like, oh man, yeah, it's really emotional
but no,
hearing about that. So I truly enjoyed it,
but
even
no, I
as an
love
Eagles fan,
most
but as a
about it,
It
football
was
Drew.
fan, I
done
liked
well, whether people
it. It
want to
really was
watch it
done
or
well.
not. It was done well.
What I really love about it was Haley. How Haley came up. What they say Haley did in San Francisco, put his penis on the desk and pissed on the desk.
Well, real
Then why you
quick.
even got to say any
What?
of that, Momo? That's some stupid shit.
Well, again, I had known about
No,
that.
no, it's not no stupid shit. What I'm saying that he hated
No.
the
You're
team.
getting that story mixed up with Mark Holmes' story. Mark told me a
No,
story.
no, no. I'm talking about them documentary.
Okay. Well, Mark Holmes was at a dinner with his now wife, who was friends. They were all friends in college.
Okay,
And
no, I ain't never
Charles
heard that story before.
and Charles walked up to the dinner table and dropped his meat on a
No, I
plate.
never heard it before.
And then in the documentary, sorry, ladies, that's what happened. I'm not trying to be disgusting. And in the documentary, he goes into Carmen Policy's office and pees all over his desk and says, "Trade my ass." So they later found out. Thank God Dallas knew. And now you know why over the years Dallas tries to take on these reclamation projects. They identified that he was bipolar and made sure that he was on his meds. Barry Switzer gets a lot of crap. He really does. Barry Switzer has been a winner forever. Barry Switzer, those players loved Barry Switzer. Yeah, Aikman was upset. There wasn't much structure, but they loved Barry.
They go all the way back to Oklahoma.
Barry had their back. Barry really cared about these players. Really did.
He let them do everything they wanted.
He
though.
went to Charles.
Barry was a
but he went to Charles's house, Rob.
A people's coach.
Like when Charles Haley hit a trainer, Charles Haley, Barry Switzer went to Charles's house, and Charles said, "I normally don't open the door," and he says, "I'm coming in." He comes in, forces his way in, and sits down with Charles man to man and says, "We need you to be a leader. We're going to make you we're going to help you get better. What you did was wrong, but we're going to be a family and come together." Again, that's a way to handle it. Those players loved him. Does that mean, again, we heard about the White House. It's funny. Next time I go to Dallas, I'm going to have Wade drive me by there. I know exactly where it is just to get pictures of the White House. It's crazy. Anyway, real quick, Dirty Sanchez with the super chat. Dang, Momo, out of the whole documentary, the only thing you remember is when Charles Haley pulled out his wiener.
Loves that meat.
Exactly, Dirty. Exactly,
Got it,
Dirty.
Dirty Sanchez.
That's what I was thinking too.
They're like, what the hell?
He loves the meat.
I just got a
you want to tell us
question.
All right, Hallie's up. Hallie's up.
Okay. Did y'all watch the Michael Irvin and Troy Aikman?
I did, yes. Oh,
That one
Drew's
made me
next,
tear
too.
up.
Either that or he's I gotta look.
That one made me tear up. It gave a little bit more insight how they felt going through some of
Is that on YouTube? Is that a YouTube live?
Nah, it's Netflix. Oh yeah, his is YouTube. Yes, Michael Irvin.
I gotta catch it.
Now I know why Michael couldn't come on with me. I didn't realize, honestly, guys, I didn't realize how big this Netflix thing was. I mean, this thing is huge. I didn't realize.
Yeah, I think it's number one.
I know
number
Netflix,
two.
but I'm like, okay, it's a Netflix. No, this shit.
I think it's number 2.
Hey, game time.
Most watch.
Who's this clown on your chat? He even has a wrench. This woke Yusuf. It just keeps talking a bunch of nonsense.
What's he saying? You are the quiet clown of the call. Are you a man? Be nice, Woke, please.
Yeah, come on,
Woke. Clown on here. I told him jump on the call, and he just keeps on.
Well, he's not he's not a Zoom call member. Be nice, Woke, please, or the wrench. I mean,
let's be respectful.
Guys.
People come after me too, but I don't pay them no mind.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Rob.
It's not even football related. He's a dumbass. He's just talking a bunch of nonsense.
You got a fan, Rob. You got a fan.
You got a fanboy. Woke's normally pretty cool, so I don't know what's going on. So again,
at game time, you know what else was that I didn't know was the altercation that Michael Irvin. Irvin had with the scissors.
Oh, dude.
And I was like, whoa.
Dude.
Yeah, that was crazy.
And,
that was crazy.
What was his name
what I thought was
again?
very
Randy. Who was the player?
I don't remember.
It was the
but
offensive
it was,
lineman.
Eric Williams?
Yeah.
No.
It was somebody. It was a non-big name.
Yeah, I'll look it up. Yeah, I'll find it.
When he said to him that,
he wasn't a big name.
But when he told him, like, he said something to the effect, like, do you love your family? And Mike was like, yeah. And he said, well, I love mine, and you almost took me from mine. You could see how that impacted Mike.
Everett McIver.
Everett McIver.
Yes, bingo. We got it.
That was very impactful.
It was the offensive guard, Everett McIver.
That's
Chris Dooley's next, but let me get in on this real quick. That's where, again, wow, snitch on us. Well, woke, just like, we're kind of like a family here. Even Bruce, he likes to rip me, but he does it, I think, in a loving way, I think.
Yeah.
Again, so I don't really care. I got a lot of wrenches. Phil warned me early on. He said, you got way too many wrenches. But I was trying to get you guys on the ground level. I haven't really given out wrenches lately, so we're going to even this puppy out. But, again, just be nice. We could talk football. We could, just leave it at that.
Yeah.
But
we're having a good conversation here, buddy.
Everett McIver just is an example of what was going on with the team. Again, Michael Irvin realized now what he did. He stabbed a guy in the neck because he was a veteran and was next to get a haircut, and Everett said, nah, I'm going. And he stabbed a guy. This was after he was on probation. He would have been going to jail for 20 years. Thank God.
Yeah. He's lucky. He's lucky the guy didn't die.
It's
that
too. There was blood everywhere.
He had some Aaron Hernandez in him then.
Yeah.
All right, Chris.
That was Chris. And that was the impactful part for me, Rob. Is he asked Michael a question, and you can see, like, even to this day, how it impacts Michael Irvin.
Well,
and I
was
respect,
weird.
I got love for Michael Irvin.
And,
I respect.
Listen,
I love
Chris Dooley, you're next, brother. Trust me. But what was neat was I was sitting in the end zone. If anybody remembers the vet. The visitors came out of the end zone. There was a little tunnel there. I was right 2 rows above me and a buddy of mine. I was at the game where Michael Irvin, that was his last game. And it was a blessing in disguise, people. People don't realize. They look at the negative. That was his last game. They were booing him. No, they weren't. They were booing Deion Sanders, who was trying to heal him. They were booing that. They weren't booing Michael. But it was a blessing because if he had continued to play, he could have. Yeah. It was spinal stenosis. It was a narrowing of the spine. It gets real thin. You take a hit in the right spot, you snap your spine. You don't ever walk again.
Yeah, you don't.
In saying that, this is how much they love Jimmy Johnson, which is why we always go back to coaching matters. He said, knowing what I know, I wasn't coming back to that situation. But if Jimmy were still coaching a team, that would not have been my last play as a Dallas Cowboy. Yep, that goes to show you the heart of Michael Irvin, which is why I didn't see any of that before I wanted him on the show. And shit, I thought I had him too. I was telling Phil, I'm like, I almost had Michael Irvin, but then the damn Netflix thing come up, and now he's too big for anybody. So whatever. But anyway, Chris Dooley, you are on. You're up, brother. What's up?
Well, yeah, I haven't seen the America's team yet, and then y'all are making a good case. I'm gonna have to check it out.
You're gonna have to watch it, bro. It's really.
You have to watch it. Bro.
People crack me up. I don't want to watch it.
I would love if they did one of just Snyder. Exactly. I want to see them expose Snyder on what we had and everything, all the shit that went down with us. That would be awesome. But actually, I wanted to ask Phil, since he's an Oregon guy. What do we expect with our first round pick, Conley?
Conley, man, I have honestly, I'm drifting. I don't even know who you got. Was your lineman?
Yeah, James Conley Jr.
Oh yeah, Conley. Okay. Yeah.
Man, I kind of forgot that you got him like that.
He was an offensive tackle, wasn't he?
Chris, he's going to be better than Tunzel.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be honest with you. He's going to be better than Tunzel.
When I look at Oregon football, the times that he struggled in the sense of the quarterback getting rushed was unfortunately with the guy that we got on our team on the Cowboys. So our tackle. But I never really had any problem seeing him. I didn't really see any kind of struggles. I think there was times, of course, when you're going up against top competition, you're gonna eventually fold. But they kept. I don't know. It just, to me, I always thought that that Dylan wasn't that great of a quarterback, and I think that what made him great was the offensive line gave him time to throw to 3 good receivers. So that whole rest of that offense was so amazing. He benefited from that, and I was just amazing. I thought eventually that Cinderella story was going to come to light, but that offensive line did an amazing job, and I think you got a great piece there. He's going to definitely get tested in this division, but I think you got a really good piece there. I mean, once he gets some strength on him, especially this year, I'm interested to see how he does in his rookie year. But especially once he gets some strength, I think he's going to be amazing.
Yeah, because coming out in the draft, Chris, that was the one thing about Josh Connerly that they were talking about, is that a year in the NFL program will do him a really good, like most players. That's stating the obvious, but maybe that's the one thing he may not be great at first year, but where he's just a little bit stronger. But I liked him. I did. That was my, if we didn't go tackle for O-line first round, maybe possibly, since we were higher up in the second round. Now, I'm not sure where he went exactly to possibly get a Josh Connerly, but yeah, I like them. So I think he got a good one. Drew, you're up next, brother. Since you're actually putting your hand up. Anybody else wants to do it, just click your hand up. So we'll go Drew, then Momo. We'll get in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out. Anyway,
I had a question for Phil. I know you said you haven't really seen much, guys, but have you seen Jackson Dart? I saw his last game clips, and I'm impressed, man. I'm impressed.
I've seen a roller coaster of Jackson Dart this offseason. I think I've seen what a rookie goes through. I think that I'm interested to see if he can learn from some veterans there. Let's be real. And then man, Winston, I'm really hoping he doesn't rub off too much on him. But just Wilson.
No, God,
I think
please, no.
I think Wilson can do
Don't
amazing.
let those turnovers.
Hey, he's got the locker room mentality though.
That gunslinger. He's got good football IQ. He goes out there and knows the field, really well. I'm talking about Jackson Dart. I mean, he's got some swag to him that I think any Giants fan should be happy about.
And he did it in the SEC, Rob, where
Oh yeah, I made a lot of money off of all.
You know what I'm saying? It's not like he did it in like the Pac-10. No offense to the Pac-10, but he did it.
Right.
So who's next?
We got Haley and then
Haley and Momo.
Jesse.
Well, Momo's had his
Momo
hand
and then
up.
Jesse.
So we'll have Haley, Momo, Jesse.
Jesse, and then Randy.
Randy.
All right. Yeah. Here we go. Haley, Momo, Jesse, Randy, go.
Okay. You mean Hallie?
Hallie, sorry.
Yeah, that's okay.
Let's real quickly.
I was just going to ask a question because I don't have Netflix, so I'm not able to watch it, but I, just see what I can on Twitter and all of that. But did they specifically say the cause between Jimmy Johnson and Jerry that caused the rift between them that made Jimmy walk away?
Yes.
Yeah, they went through all that.
Yep. Do you want Do you want us to tell you?
I mean, it's up to you. I just
spoiler alert. No, I'm just messing.
When you put 2 egos in one room and they're both big as trees, you can't. It's gonna eventually break.
I'll tell you two quick little things.
Type A personalities.
Yeah, I'll tell you 2 quick little things. It was at first Howley. It was the Herschel Walker trade. Again, Jerry had a big hand in it. Jerry was the first one to actually talk to Tex Schramm. Tex Schramm went to Jerry and said, listen, you got one player on this team. You might want to think about trading him. Then fast forward, right? You fast forward months later, and he goes to Jimmy, hey, what do you think about trading Herschel? Jimmy talks to the coaches. He goes out on his morning jog, comes back. We're trading him. Jerry was very involved in it. Jimmy made it seem like Jerry had nothing to do with the Herschel Walker trade. That was one. And then the straw that broke the camel's back was, and I don't blame Jimmy. Jimmy was I've been coaching for 30 years. I'm a coach. You're an owner. You stay where you're at. I'll stay where I'm at. So they were at Disney World at a NFL meeting. They were all at a table drinking. And Jerry walks up after the Super Bowl, holds up a glass and says, "Cheers to the Super Bowl." All the coaches,
I remember that story. Yeah.
all the coaches cheered Jerry Jones except Jimmy Johnson because he felt that Jerry invaded his space with his coaches and tried to take credit for something. Jimmy has to take and has taken accountability for not letting it go and being too insecure. He was that's just the way he was. Jerry, we know he is a buffoon. So it was both of them. It was both of them. So that's sorry, that was long, but that was the quickest thing. That's the quickest way I could say it.
Okay,
Momo is up next.
Okay, well, I want to say about Charles Haley. Charles Haley was a beast.
What's up, Double Dog?
And every team needs a Charles Haley. Every team needs a Charles Haley because he was unblockable.
It's like Jimmy Lynam. That's
why they love him.
He don't go on trees,
People
brother.
got a person like every team need a player like Charles Haley because I know he has his problems. Matter of fact, in the documentary, he even talks about it's 3 sides of me. He talks about how
yeah. Well, that's what called bipolar, man.
Yeah. He said it.
Yep.
You don't have one yet. You have potential to have one, but the Charles Haley, they don't grow on trees.
Randy,
no, they don't. No, they don't.
Randy, you're next, brother.
Yes. What I wanted to say is if y'all haven't seen the documentary, I'm going to point out a spot in the NFC Championship. Now, this is going to tell you how coaching is. Jimmy took a piece of paper and he walked the whole field. If y'all remember, the field had flooded and he marked weak spots of the field. So when the score became 24-20, Dallas had the ball, and the offensive coordinator called down to Jimmy. He said, "What do you want to do?" He says, "I want to pass it. We're at the spot of the field where we can."
Phil, you got to watch the first 3 episodes.
Yes, you really need to watch it because
Just
he
the
drew a
first
graph of the whole field, and San Francisco, George Seifert laughed at him. He said, "That ain't gonna make no difference." On the when Harper went across the middle and ran to the 10-yard line, that's what won him the game. And that's when coaching comes out.
Yeah,
he made a graph of this.
There's little nuggets, Phil. I would say the first 3 episodes are a must. After that, fine. I mean, I liked it all, but I get it. It's but the first
you find a lot of things out that you don't hear about that it makes sense now.
Phil, Jimmy Johnson had a diagram of what was he analyzed the field to a T and wrote it down on a piece of paper. And they called that last play based on the footing on the field. He goes, okay. But the crazy part was
Mike Irvin.
The crazy part was Michael went up to Alvin Harper because Michael was tired of
Alvin. They wanted to switch it. Yeah, you switched positions.
And they switched it. And just like Jimmy Johnson said, Alvin Harper goes on the slant. The defensive back slips, like Jimmy says, catches an easy slant, and goes 70 yards, and it's like, oh my God. Oh my God. It's just, that's coaching. Mouse, what's up, brother?
You got
Jerry talking about
Jesse.
meat.
Brian, I was nervous as hell when he caught that ball and ran down the field.
Candlestick. That was Phil in back of Walker Wade's vehicle when.
Oh my God! Yeah,
he took Candlestick in the back.
I do want to say one thing, Brian. If we didn't have Michael Irvin, I don't know if we would have won them championships because he had a lot of antics, but he was the backbone of the team. The backbone.
You know what's funny, man? And this is really interesting. I know Hallie's up next.
Jesse.
Or Jesse, then Hallie. It's very, very interesting, and it's a very key point. What's up, Twiz? Is that Michael had his issues. We all know it. There's nobody perfect.
Yeah.
He had his demons, right?
Yep.
But what did Troy say? Literally the day of, because, he was in serious trouble. Michael was going to jail, like in big time, right? He comes home right? After a day in court, he told all of his teammates, just stay away. Please don't come. Yeah, I have to own up to what I did. This is when he was out with the stripper doing a crack cocaine. They found it. He was in trouble. He was looking at 20 years. He comes home from court, or no, Aikman shows up. Aikman shows up anyway. And to this day, Michael starts crying when he talks about it. He goes, I said don't because I was ashamed. It was my deal. But Troy came and was a teammate. And then after that, Troy went back to Valley Ranch to work out. That's one thing people don't realize. Troy was a tireless worker. When he got there, he saw Irvin already on the field doing 110s. And Phil, you know what they are. You got the weight on you. You're running the length of the field in 10 yards. And he was just he was the hardest worker on the team, Michael Irvin.
Well,
as much of
it
partying
shows-
as he does, he put the work in.
It shows even now. It's just the lifestyle for him. I mean, he's still in great shape. He reminds me a lot of T.O. Where, right now.
Yes.
Shannon Sharp, stuff like that.
Yeah, Shannon Sharp. And
That
those
Rose
guys,
Sparks.
it's in their DNA, man. It's just their work ethic.
Yep, I agree. Okay, so who was
Jesse?
next? Jesse, what's up, brother? You may now speak from the weeds.
Okay, we got out of the weeds for a second. We'll just pop out for a second. No, one thing I do notice remember when old Jerry brought Jimmy Johnson back to the Hall of Fame, to their Hall of Fame, you see those people, all those players looked at him, and there were half of them were crying seeing him, especially Irvin. That was amazing. That was amazing thing to see. After all that, they still love him.
I mean, you even saw Bill Parcells break. Jerry Jones did nothing to Bill Parcells. Jerry Jones he even went out of his way, knowing what he did to Jimmy and how he didn't make it work. He went out of his way. That loss to Seattle, where Romo dropped the extra point and whatever, or the field goal. I don't know if it was the field goal. Bill Parcells was done. He was done. Bill Parcells says
Oh, Bill Parcells didn't recover after that.
Bill Parcells says his one regret in life was not going back. Remember that next year was the year that the Giant Witten and Romo went to Cabo, and they lost to the Giants. Remember, Dallas had a stud team.
Oh,
they
glorious.
lost to the Giants that next year.
Glorious. Yeah.
Some people think that if Parcells was there, that wouldn't have happened. And he regrets it because he knows what he could have done. This is ifs and buts and candy and nuts. You make decisions in life, and you have to live with them. And it is what it is. It is.
And
what it is.
Brian, piggyback off of that, and we watched them first 3 episodes. That was football. It was very good teams there. It was physical.
I took a lot of flack from Eagle fans. I was, dude.
Yeah, I didn't understand that.
That team was unbelievable.
Our Eagles team was crazy good. Number one defense.
Again, I understand you didn't have unbelievable receivers, but you don't need, again, most teams don't have. I mean, Alvin Harper was not really that good. He was good with us, but he didn't go on to do anything in the league.
Troy made him good.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? And I was only trying to say, Rob, was back then, the Washington was 13-0. Remember Momo when you knocked out Aikman? You knocked him out.
You knocked him out in that game.
Yeah. And then enters Steve Berline. He goes on to win 7 in a row, including a playoff game.
Yeah.
So much so that Aikman says, you got to get me out of Dallas. This coach has no faith in me. I'm healthy. I should be playing. Then they start Berline in Detroit. We get thumped 38-6, and they bring in Aikman for mop-up duty, where he suffers yet another concussion. He had 9 concussions in 14 months. I challenge anybody in this day and age for any quarterback to come out the other side and have the type of success. Just look at the hits. Just Google it or on YouTube, or just look it up. Say Troy Aikman hits. He got absolutely annihilated, and most of the time it came from his division, which is what I was trying to get to, guys. Eagles are very, very, very good. They had the best defense in the NFL. That defense was arguably better than the '85 Bears. I know people are going to argue with me. I'll take that Eagles defense. I don't necessarily like the style that they played, the 46, as far as like playoffs and matchups, but the actual people, we're talking Clyde Simmons, you're talking Jerome Brown, you're talking Reggie White, and it goes on and on and on. Seth Joyner. I mean, it was.
I think Golick was part of that team too.
Yes,
Right?
Mike Golick was. I mean, he was the worst of the bunch. But
Byron Jones, Andre Waters, Eric
Andre Dirty
Water.
Water. All we were trying to say, Drew, was the whole division. You had Lawrence Taylor and Phil Simms and Phil McConkey and
Taylor,
Mark
Sims,
Bavaro and
Pepper Johnson, Harry
Pepper
Carson.
Johnson.
Pepper
it
Johnson.
was ridiculous.
Hey, and don't count out the
Cardinals. By the time
don't
you
count
got
out
to the
the Cardinals,
playoffs, your record wasn't 13, 14 wins. Usually, it was 10 or 11, and you had a hard game. Like one of my favorite memories, sorry, Jesse, was the Emmitt Smith dislocated shoulder in the Meadowlands. I remember driving
that was crazy. That was crazy.
I was on a college trip. I was driving from South Jersey to Vermont to go on a ski trip in the college that I was attending, and I was listening to it on a Sony Walkman. Those are the memories I think of, and I look back, and they really showed a lot of that. I just
remember that one.
I just love how physical it was. By the time you got to the playoffs, shit. Okay.
I saw that Theismann. I saw Theismann get his leg broken. That was horrible.
That was nasty.
Oh, that was horrible.
That was gruesome.
But also in that Washington game, they knocked out Aikman. Aikman got double-sided. He got his knee bent.
Drew's up next, I think.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. LeVar Arrington.
I remember one of the hits that Aikman took, and he thought he was back in Oklahoma. That's how bad the concussion happened on him.
In the Dallas thing, Aikman, when he got knocked out of the championship game, he went up to Mark Stefnoski. He was on crutches, and he said, "Why aren't you in your uniform?" This was before they even knew he had a concussion, and that's when Stefnoski went to the doctors.
He had blown out his knee weeks ago.
Feels that out of it then.
Yeah, he should have never played in the Super Bowl, Rob. He should have never played in the Super Bowl. That's why when you see him to this day, he's on heavy meds, man. It's probably some kind of CBD.
He is. You can look in his eyes. He's not the same person.
He's that's why he probably keeps himself in great shape.
I'm surprised he can even talk the way he talks game time, because when he do the games, I'm surprised Aikman is that.
Before Drew goes, I got to get going because I got to help the little one with homework and stuff like that. So, but it's great talking to everybody.
Yeah, I'm getting ready to stop it. I only got to Zoom until 11:30 anyway. So,
hey, Phil.
I'll talk to you
guys.
I'll talk to you. I got to do a drawing.
Later.
See you guys.
See you, Phil.
Later, Phil.
Let me do a drawing. We'll stay another 5-10 minutes, then we'll get out of here.
And game time. Don't forget about them Cardinal teams in the NFC.
No, that's what I said. The Cardinals. You got the Rams. At times were good.
Well, I just wanted to answer Momo on why he, when he was on talking to Michael Irvin, they were talking about they still work out, keeping in shape, and I think that's the one thing that's been helping Aikman stay.
JD 1965,
especially when he does games. Because of the regimen he does, and he said what all he did. I can't say half the things that he does, because it's something I never ever heard of anybody doing. But he that's what he does. It takes up most of his days during the day, but that's the only thing I think that keeps him from it keeps his mind clear is what I'm trying to say.
There was no social media back in them days.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Thank God. Hey, Rob, Hey, Rob, I got a
real quick. Let me
you.
announce the winner. I got a winner here. JD 1965. I drew you out. Email me at GameTimeBrian@gmail with your name. And
Congratulations, JD.
And your address.
Good job, JD.
And I'll make sure.
I think he's new too, right?
Something to you. What's that?
Isn't he new? Yeah,
he's a newer guy. Yeah. But
Hey.
So JD, if you're not in here now and you're watching it, I will pin my email at the top. So, but anyway, go ahead, guys.
Oh, Rob, just a question, or
Yes, sir.
Drew, whichever you two. With what's the status on Ringo right now? He's supposedly injured and he's on the third squad. Do you think they're going to cut him?
No, I don't think they'll cut him, but he's definitely not starting. It's probably going to be Adoree. If I'd have it my way, I'd put our rookie in the slot, McWilliams, and then put Cooper in as our second. I mean, that's what I would. That's what I think. I think that's what we should do. Is that, and Makuba to start if he can stay healthy. But if not, then possibly go with Justin Simmons, because I don't really have too much faith in Sidney Brown.
What do you think? Again, it's still right now. It's a better.
I agree.
It's a better situation that we're looking at. So whatever.
I agree, Rob, because they're already talking about Mac Williams playing.
It's Mac
cornerback too. So I totally agree with Rob. Yeah, I just wanted to just piggyback on the show real quick. I love, like, all the football, the team hatred aside, I love to see, because sometimes relationships don't reconcile, but it was really good to see Jerry and Jimmy reconcile. And I really felt happy for Jimmy. You can see it in his face and how happy he was, man.
I agree.
That part of the whole show, that might have been my most favorite. And then him being in the what is it, Ring of Fame?
It's definitely the Ring of Honor. It's definitely a good
I really liked it.
Moment. It really was.
I mean, people have to get over themselves. It's not. I'll talk to you tomorrow, Phil. Thanks, brother.
Have a good one, Phil.
Here's my thing, and I say it, as much as I want to win, not so much for me. Don't get me wrong, I'm gonna love it. I have a YouTube channel, so if we win a Super Bowl in the near future, that would be fantastic. But again, I've had a lot of tragedy in my life too, so it's like I'm sorry, guys. If the Eagles, I'm not saying that I'm rooting for it, but if they never won a Super Bowl, you guys got to see two. That's phenomenal, man. You got 12 teams who never have won a Super Bowl. So it's great memories. I would just say, could you imagine being a Lions fan? How many times are they going to be unbelievable and not get the job done?
How about Cleveland? Good God.
But I mean, the Lions have been unbelievable. They've won playoff games, and then they've dropped last year. Sorry, Momo. You guys went into Detroit and won. They should have never have lost that game. Never. Eagles put up 50 on you twice. The Lions should have won that game. The Lions came up real small.
We were
small. They were hurt too, though.
Brian. We were 10-point dogs in that game.
Yes,
10 points.
I lost 1,000 in that game. I didn't think Washington was gonna.
Oh shit!
I didn't think Washington was gonna.
They were hurt Detroit. Though, man. They were a hurt team,
but they were still so damn good. That offense.
Momo, y'all called Detroit at a time when they were down and completely down and out. Y'all caught them at the right time, dude.
Yeah, you did. They got revenge on you.
You know what? You can say that, but they just beat them. Period. You can't say that you caught them at the right time. They just stood up and beat them, and they beat them on their own turf.
Right.
That's the thing. There.
Yeah,
we beat them down.
You know what I mean? They caught them at the right time when they was.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, but you still got to go in their house and beat them, and they did.
They did. And Chris, you didn't really have a true number two either, and Jaden had a good year.
Yeah,
you didn't have a true legit number two receiver, and Jaden still made it happen. That's respect.
Exactly.
Yeah, Washington's scary, man.
Yeah, I got video on me being at the draft talking to the Hogs, and I'm like, who do you want? They're like, we want Jaden. I'm like, yeah, I hope you don't get him, because if you get him, that's going to spell doom for a lot of people. He's just a clutch quarterback. Again, he's a frail guy, so I don't want him to take damage, because that could easily. We've seen it. I know people get mad when I make the comparison, but we've seen it with RG3. RG3 went into Dallas on Thanksgiving and smoked our ass. And if he were to stay healthy, maybe things would have been different for him. But he couldn't stay healthy. Well, let's hope that Jaden can. He's a stud. I ain't gonna lie. He's a winner too. It seems like he's a winner. So we got to deal with him. That's well. It is what it is. I would love for us to win, since I haven't gotten a chance yet. I know, D. I hear you. I would love it too, but again, there are teams that never have won it, and it's like, you haven't seen it. My son hasn't seen it. D. He's 21. He's my only one of my kids who really care about football. He's never seen a winner. He's seen a few playoff wins, but but I'm not gonna. I mean, he'll live. I mean, it is what it is. It's not the end of the world, but it sucks. I hear you. Definitely does suck. Logan Motorsports. Brian, your son never saw Super Bowl. Yeah, he's seen them. He's seen the Eagles win too. Yeah, JD wasn't a clutch in the NFC. 55-23. Bobby Murphy, I get it, brother. I get it. He was a rookie for crying out loud.
They were overmatched in that game. Philly just had a better team.
Hey, Bobby, I think we can all agree that he had a good year.
Yeah.
Plus,
goodness.
Plus, we had three fumbles in that game too. It wasn't
That's
on
what it
him.
was.
I mean,
JD
just kept
didn't
punching the
lose you
ball
that
out.
game. It was just the turnovers.
If anybody was going to beat Philly, it was going to be the Rams. Yeah, I'm telling you, the Rams match up well. They're very physical.
Carter saved their ass in that one, and we had some bad clock management in that game too. Because when Saquon broke that second long touchdown, I thought it was over, and we did not handle the remaining of that game smart as far as burning the clock and extending a drive, and we just let them back in it. We really shouldn't have let them back in it because that should have been
that was Nick. That was on Nick.
Yeah, you were close. That was a close game.
Well, the nice thing is we get to start it all over in 2 weeks from tomorrow.
Yeah, and let's wind her up here.
Popcorn.
Damn, 2 weeks already.
That's
and college starts Saturday live.
Now, any good games this Saturday?
There's 3 games. I don't know who all's playing, but it's football.
I got to think about what me and Rob were talking about. I got to come up with something.
You know, Tennessee's playing Syracuse Saturday.
Who is?
Tennessee is playing Syracuse down in Atlanta.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But yeah, that was a good show, everybody. I enjoyed it. I mean, again, thank God for Drew to spice it up a little because I didn't know how long we were going to have Tuck for. He had been live for hours. That's all he does, it seems like, is live stream. So I appreciate him coming in for the time that he did. If anybody, like I said, Jay Tuck's channel is linked in the description. We are trying to get Prime Time to 2,000 subscribers. If we can get that done, that would be great. I would like to get to 100 likes in this video. So if anybody hasn't liked the video, please like it now. I appreciate it.
Come on, people.
Come on, y'all.
Anyway, JD 1965, when you watch us back here, I will keep it here, even if you don't get back to me. Next live stream, I'll make sure I tell you. I appreciate it. We're getting closer, guys and gals. We are getting closer to football. We got, as far as the Cowboys, we got one more game to get through. You won't see a lot of people play as far as starters, which I'm okay with. I really am.
I got a question.
Yeah,
How excited are y'all to see Jaden Blue start? I'll be playing in this.
Here's the deal. Here's the deal. Me personally, not so much because he's not playing with the first.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah, he's not playing with the first offensive line. So, it's kind of like, okay, yeah, I'm happy to see him. But, you kind of take it with a grain of salt. You won't know really until you get to Philly and then really beyond Philly because Philly's going to be tough to run on. So I think you'll know. Give the kid a month, 6 weeks of the regular season, then you'll know what you got. Hopefully he can stay healthy. So anybody else with any final thoughts before we get out of here?
And Schottenheimer, he finally said something that made sense.
What's that?
Finally?
You heard,
it's been rough, Rob.
You heard the noise. You heard the noise about
his words.
No, I said it's been rough with him lately.
Oh, I know.
No, I mean, you're right. He's gotten really ho-hum and looks like he lost his best friend.
He's heard the noise about the play calling. And, and he said, man, what most people don't realize is we play Philly in a couple of weeks from now.
Thanks,
secondly,
Steve. Appreciate you.
Secondly, as of right now, they're scouting us. And third, they have one of the best DCs on the planet.
Yeah.
So if I'm him, I'm not going to show my shit either.
Yeah, it's a smart thing, but it's a gamble. It's a gamble.
But hey, Thomas, how are you going to execute it to perfection if you're not going to run it?
Not in a game, right?
We ain't giving me all the all this.
But we talk about it, Rob.
This is the thing, Thomas, is I'd rather I'll share our game plan. We're going to run Saquon. Now stop it.
Oh, well, yeah, we know that. Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Is like you're in order for you guys to have these.
Well, that's why I do think, Rob, we have an advantage, but will they be able to execute the advantage?
Exactly.
I do think there is an advantage, but will they be able to? And we talked about it at the top of the show, Rob, regarding that, because like Phil was saying, when you have a red shirt on, because believe it or not, Drew, Milton has looked very good. He's had some off days, but way better than a Trey Lance in the preseason practices. But in the game, when the red shirt don't mean shit, Milton has looked bad, right? So that's the fear, and that's what Rob's talking about. So again,
game time. What is that? What does that say about your defense if he's looking really good in practice?
Well, again, I wouldn't get too carried away. Everything is kind of vanilla, and it was a camp where the defense would win, the offense would win. I'm not saying he's looked lights out, but he's looked decent. And I go back to Dak Prescott when Dak was a young guy. Dak was horrible in training camp. Dak was a horrible practice player, but where Dak shined was when he got into the games. Milton seems to be the opposite. My only question to you, Drew and Rob, maybe you would have an answer that I don't know. Maybe they're trying to force an offense down Milton rather than using Milton's talents. You're allowed to have a backup quarterback who doesn't run the Dak offense, and maybe you switch up the play calling. So to Schottenheimer's defense, he's not showing nothing, so maybe he will, maybe he won't. I don't know, but that's my fear, is that they're still running the same plays, the same vanilla plays under Milton, when you would think, like Dak, early Dak, he was better on the move, getting the sweat, running a little bit. He's freaking 6'5", 230 pounds. Get out and run and extend the play, and maybe that's where Milton would shine. So I don't know, man. We'll see. Again, there's a lot of question marks that need to be answered. So, but
just one last thing, guys.
Yeah, go ahead.
Just let you know,
you're in the weeds.
One last thing, we in the weeds.
Yeah, I knew that.
Geese is out later.
All right, you got Rob, you got Aisha, you got Hallie, you got Randy, you got Thomas, you got Chris, Commander Chris, you got Jesse on his Harley. You got Joe DeMasi, and you got Drew. Any final words before I get out of here? Thank you, everybody in the chat. I appreciate the support. I love doing the show on Wednesdays. We're not going to stop doing it. Hopefully, I can continue to bring in a guest every week. I think that adds to the show. Any final words? Anybody? You don't have to put your hand up. Just get it in, get it out, and we'll get out of here.
Great show, man. Shout out to J Tuck. Great show. Appreciate you guys.
Looking forward to Friday.
We coming, Chris. We coming.
Appreciate that, Rob.
I'm about to go get my weed eater here in a minute.
Please. See what comes
You're
out.
gonna smoke weed in a minute? All right, Hallie. Okay.
Yeah, girl. You go.
I'll join you, Hallie, and I don't even smoke.
Hang out with Leo.
I'm making it real good.
Oh, Momo, how are you feeling?
Yeah, how you doing, brother? How you doing, Momo?
Because you said you had COVID, you and your wife.
Momo's not.
Momo got off.
Yeah,
did you get off? Well, darn.
Well, he looks good. Well, we didn't see his crack, so that's always a good thing. Everyone, good night. Great show, game time and prime time. Appreciate you, J Tuck. Clemente, thanks, brother. All right, everybody. I'll see you. Good night, D. Good night, Philly D. Good night, Logan. Good night, Sherman. Everybody in the chat. I will talk to you. Thank you. I missed Eagle Wade tonight. I missed him. So
take care, Jesse.
All right, Joe. See you, baby.
Have a good one.
Bye.
Hey, man. What? I'm cool. This is me. We're gonna jump on that spaceship and get out of here. Let's go.
No judgment. Shoot.
Get to smash that subscribe button. You know what? I'm gonna give it. I'll give it 4 out of 5 avocados. Korg?
I was raised by avocados.
Oh my God! Just kill me now.
Ho ho ho. Green Giant. Hey! We know each other. He's a friend from work.
I think it's going really well. I know. This is literally the first time I took my gun out of the holster. Right.
And that is why we need a triumphant video.
What? You guys led us to this. Thank you.